Welcome to Non-Standard Action. We're presenting Rise of the Star-Lords, Episode 4, Community Service. Tonight, last week, we went on a hunt into the Tickwood. We found the Ticks, the forest is so named after. We had a moderate fight, had a couple people get fairly injured, and then there was an epic Jurassic Park style race out of the forest with their loot, the Tick's body, and Lahan nearly died.
I did. It's true.
Yeah. The icebreaker of the week is who's your favorite relative and why? And we'll start with Ava.
This is an interesting question.
Safe.
Hi. Yeah, an interesting question for Ava, considering she was kind of raised in the wilderness. So probably, the mother bear that ended up raising her. That's got to be her favorite relative, considering her parents were weak and died in a goblin raid. So.
Fair enough. That's pretty interesting. I don't know if anyone else knew that about you. Or Ava. Sorry, I tend to go first person with characters. Next up will be Finn, portrayed by Lapis. Same question.
So, Finn actually has a good deal of family. His mom's still in the picture. He's got 2 brothers and a sister as well. His favorite family member, though, is probably his older brother, who he looks up to quite a lot. He still lives on Magnimar, and he looks up to him because he takes care of the family really well. He stepped into the position of man of the house after his father left on a space mission and never came back. Finn would like to be more like him, but is not.
That's pretty sweet. Now we are on to Jacinto, brought to us by Tom.
Hello. Jacinto's favorite relative is going to seem like a cop-out, but it is indeed Rakkus, his brother who you met in episode 1. And that's not just because Rakkus is an on-screen relative and stuff like that, but Rakkus and Jacinto have sort of been on their own for a while. So Rakkus is always taking care of Jacinto, and they watch out for each other and stuff like that. So, I think Rakkus is the big brother, in fact, and Jacinto is the younger brother. But
stepping out of the shadow now.
Yeah.
You're gonna blossom.
Literally.
Flower.
I'm already blossoming.
All right. Now we've got Lahan, portrayed by Nick.
Well, you've sort of already met Lahan's favorite relative, her big brother Oswin, who runs all of the shop operations for the family. They've always been close. He's the one who sort of taught Lahan everything she knows.
All right. So we're going to be coming back into the game just a little while after we ended last session. We ended last session with, I believe, a slightly miffed Aldern because Jacinto used the last of his mystical energies healing Lahan instead of him, and went to the cathedral. Went to the cathedral, paid for him to get healed, and then he dramatically leaned on Finn for support because he was oh so injured, and you guys went back to the Rusty Dragon, handed your catch, the mighty tick, off to Berthana because it's a known delicacy and it's being prepared for everybody to feast upon.
Nice.
So, you come in, there's music, you've got a big table set up, there's a big spread on it. There's music being pumped, like louder than normal, being pumped through the sound system in the Rusty Dragon. It's a little bit lively in there. I imagine you're sharing some of your catch because it's a 10-foot tick, and I don't think you're going to be able to eat it all.
Just some
Probably
of it,
spreading
you
the wealth
know.
around. Aldern's probably sitting a little bit close to Finn, leaning on him because, oh, I'm so delicate.
Use
I am a little bit.
Jenkins is wandering around, begging for scraps.
Jacinto gladly feeds scraps to Jenkins now that he is free of the attention of Aldern, at least at some times.
Finn is a little bit less accepting of the Alden leans now that he is not gushing blood and newly traumatized.
He seems a little
Just
bit
fully
oblivious
ready
to
for
that.
this tick steak.
Right? I imagine, you know, Lahan lets all of her brothers know that this is happening. They should come enjoy some of the tick that she and her friends hunted.
Well, the twins find you before you message anybody.
As
And they, their backs are up. They're a bit anxious. They heard what happened. They heard heard about the state you came through the gate in. They've got friends on the wall.
of course they do. They have friends everywhere.
What are you thinking? Why are you going out there messing with the ticks? You know it's dangerous.
Kill we didn't go.
Like, father's gonna have an aneurysm. You nearly died. There was a spike sticking through your lung.
Don't heal me.
Is this happening in private, or like is this at the dinner?
This
That
is
was
like
bad.
you guys walked in, and they were like
so Ava's there
foot tapping.
because Ava's gonna put her arm on Lahan's shoulder and say, "Come on, she did great. She held her own. You don't give her enough credit."
And I was there to patch her up. I made sure that she was all right.
Super not the point. She shouldn't be nearly dying all over the place. First it was the goblins, then another goblin, then a tick. What's next?
Your sister's
I don't know,
poorly.
maybe a
gonna go-
dragon.
No!
Ooh, I'd like to see a dragon. That would be fun.
Shush you! Calling in with a bad
Oh,
crowd,
stop being
Han.
Worry warts. Come in and have some of this tick with us. We need help eating all of it.
Well, they will.
Yeah,
Drinks
put
are
hair
on
on
them.
your chest, and she like hits one of them way too hard in the sternum.
You can tell they're interested when you say, you know, the food's free, and then someone says the drinks are on them, and they're like, ooh, off to the bar. As much as
We're
they're
putting all
concerned
the
about
drinks
you,
on Aldern's tab.
yeah, he probably won't notice, right?
He'll never
Yeah, it's
notice.
probably fine.
Well, if Ava's drinking, he'll notice.
Well, and now you've got brothers, Juan's brothers to back you up. What did I name them? Sebastian and
It
Oh.
is. There's, well,
look at my cheat sheet.
I believe it's
Oh,
Juan has too
Kimball
many
and
brothers, guys.
Sebastian. It's Kimball and
Lahan, the fest-
Sebastian.
The feast hasn't even started. You need to slow down on the drinks there, buddy.
Can't remember your brother's own names. My goodness.
Too many brothers.
She's got many brothers. Many.
Kimball and Sebastian.
Yeah, I mean, they're not calmed down about the situation, but they're very much distracted by the delicious take meat and free booze.
Good.
Because, you know, they could hound you later.
Yep.
Later, there might not
I'm
be
not
delicious
going
take meat
anywhere.
and free booze.
Yeah.
Definitely not going anywhere. Mm-mm.
And over the course of the evening, Berthana is going to cruise by, and she's not happy about the presence of Aldern, but she's going to sort of express some understated concern for you, Finn.
Oh,
She cares about your well-being to a certain extent.
well, I let her know
Probably
that
not. Oh, go ahead.
we had everything under control, and I just barely got it. I barely even got a scratch. Had plenty of help from these ones. Not so much him, pointing at Alden. quietly.
Oh, you say that quietly.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Otherwise, Eldrin was going to give you a very frowny face. She kind of
I mean,
smiles
he's not
at that.
hanging on Finn's every word.
He was probably pouring himself another glass. But yeah, she just she smiles at that, probably a very quiet laugh, and just gives you like a gentle touch on the shoulder, and then she continues doing her job. And Ava actually gets a visitor over the course of the evening.
Oh.
One Davrin Hosk comes to visit you. Are you familiar with Davrin Hosk? Have you been doing any reading?
I sure have been doing some reading. Davrin Hosk, though?
He is
retired
a
hunter. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, I do remember this dude. Sorry, you got, like... There's a very large cast.
I'm working with what I was given. I'm sorry.
It's not...
He's got a
negative
question
thing
mark for his
anyway.
race, friends.
Yeah, we get to decide his race. What is Davrin Hosk?
Oh, I mean...
submit
well,
uplifted bear.
We don't have any Vesks yet.
no.
Oh, we
do
haven't had a
We
vest.
do have we do have at least one Vesk because
well, not since I've been around.
the leather worker, the town leather worker is a Vesk because everyone wanted to make it a point that he was a Vesk leather worker who made handbags and whatnot out of
that's right,
reptilian
yeah.
hide.
Oh no.
Yep.
I still have problems with this, but we're not going to get into that.
Alligator boots.
You guys insisted upon it.
Don't let me in with these guys.
I think Nick most of all.
but Davrin is
Just some alligator boots made by a Vesk man.
most assuredly a oh gosh, no, I have it. I got it. It's on the tip of my tongue. What's the beefy Lashuntas?
Oh, Demaya.
Karasha.
Yeah.
Oh, Karasha. Yeah. Karasha.
Yeah, Karasha Lashunta,
I don't know
obviously.
if they'd appreciate being called beefy.
Yeah, just a beefy Lashunta. That's what we're gonna call them.
Beef Shunta.
I'm the
Yes,
opposite
exactly.
of a beef shunta. I'm a shrimp shunta.
Yep.
Smart Shunta.
Oh God.
Smart
Or
Shunta,
small.
Beef Shunta.
There's more in the comm now, right? We have different kinds of Lashunta in the comm.
So he'll come up
Where
and
is that?
he'll sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was you're good.
So he'll show up and he'll mosey over to the bar. He'll buy 2 of whatever he knows you likes. Because I imagine you guys occasionally go drinking together. Because you share a similar hatred. You're both. He's a retired hunter. You kind of live out in the wilds. And
Drinking together might be a little bit too much of like a commitment. I'd say it would be more like they bump into each other at the bar and don't just immediately like deflect and go different ways. They'll actually drink in the vicinity of one another.
You drink in the same locations, and you have at
Yeah.
least a small amount of like common interest.
Yeah.
And you'll
enough
share
that
stories
they'll
occasionally.
talk.
I'm not looking to make anything
Yeah.
more of it than that. But he knew about what
yeah.
you did at the festival. He's heard about, it's a small town. He's already heard about what happened with the tick and how you brought that in. So he's just coming to be like, good job. And then here's a free drink on him. And that's all. He just wants to drink in your proximity again.
Oh yeah. No, and Ava will gladly accept the drink, which I'm sure is just like a glass of whiskey.
And
That's
Finn would
favorite.
actually recognize this person. This is the person that Aldern purchased the vehicles from.
Okay.
Yeah. So she'll go ahead and drink in his proximity and probably regale anyone who wants to listen nearby with the story of the tick hunt.
It's well received. People enjoy a good tale, plus, lots of free booze and lots of free
Yep.
food.
And a rockin' band tonight too. They must have gotten somebody
Oh, yeah.
in here for the feast.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're able to buy like a steady supply of reeds for saxophones, but I approve.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Ava's the one who supplies them with the cane, right?
Obviously.
One thing you'll note that's a little bit off for something like this, Amiko would probably have actually been performing, and she's not been seen in the past couple days, and she's still not here.
Strange.
Concerning.
It is indeed.
We have to decide this young lady's species, because Shayless Vinder is making another appearance. This is the young woman that very politely asked Jacinto if he would help her with a pest problem in her family's general store's basement.
Oh,
Halflings.
right.
Yeah, halfling
Halflings.
sounds good. Halfling.
Any other
Halfling makes
votes?
sense. I like halfling.
Oh, yeah, Sokies. Space halflings.
Start bringing my alien archives to the game.
Yeah.
Right? Just open to a random page. That one.
Ah, yes, the Ijtikri.
That's familiar, but I can't picture it. What is it?
Oh, they're squid people.
Oh.
I do think that halflings.
Do we want
sounds good.
halflings or do we want squid people?
I think
Hold on,
a
here we
halfling-
go. I got you.
Random page.
Okay, they can't be a Spectra. No. Oh, they can't be that either. All right, this is not working out the way I thought it would. They're obviously an Azalgan, guys. There you go.
There's six-limbed, large creatures.
Yeah.
They were discovered in season 1 of Starfinder Society, actually, which is pretty neat.
Probably not that. We'll just go with halflings.
Okay.
If someone has the time, could you go in and edit the race for all of the vendors while I'm doing other things, please?
I nominate
I will
Sure.
do this thing.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
got it.
And while this is a pretty festive evening, Aldrin's not being a complete jerk.
What?
He's more
I
of
mean,
a-
he's
more of
being
a
himself,
slime
but he's not
than
being
a jerk.
especially awful. He's playing up his injury a little bit, trying to get sympathy from Finn. Over the course of the night, he's probably warming back up to Jacinto a little bit, shooting less dirty looks.
Uh-huh.
And at some point, got someone we probably need another species for. Das Corvut approaches you guys.
Take a different alien
And-
archive.
A
What were the
serpent,
name of the
guys. Oh, no, perfect. He's a Goron.
We already have a
Goron.
Goron.
Why not an android?
Well,
Don't we-
get another.
Android.
This one could be an Ijtikri. I really like the Ijtikri.
Or the Akeshti. How about that? A red lizard person instead of a green lizard person.
Oh.
And small.
Whoever
Smaller,
knows
yeah.
how to spell that can make that so. Which
Okay.
one are we going with?
Akeshti.
Akeshti. Okay.
What was the name again?
It's Das, D-A-S, Corvut, K-O-R-V-U-T.
Got it. I see.
He is the owner of the Red Dog. Oh, man. I had it and then I lost it. I believe it's the Red Dog Smithy or the Red Dog Armory.
Red Dog Smithy.
Red Dog Smithy. He does the custom work, and he approaches the table and he's like, "Hey, I heard about the tick you brought in. I don't want you to waste something that's potentially valuable. I can work with that carapace. I can make you armor. I can make you weapons. Just bring it to me. I'm going bored out of my mind making custom filigree useless crap. I want to make something real again."
That's certainly a generous
Well,
offer,
here.
sir.
Why don't you go ahead and who did we give the carapace to process?
I thought it was sitting in the car. still.
We
Berthana,
already gave it off to somebody.
you handed it off to Berthana because she's the one that's
Right.
primarily responsible for facilitating back of house and front of house, and
I'll tell him. Speak with Berthana. She's got the leftovers from everything. There should be a fair amount of chitin left over. go ahead and we'll speak later. But if you want to get that back to your shop, I'll have some ideas for you down the line for some custom weapons for myself and the group. Just need to talk to them first, make sure we're all on board here with everything. But yeah, she'll get that set up.
Nice.
And also inform him of the location of the other dead ticks that were blown away. He might be able to forage some additional material for himself off of those dead bodies, if he wants it. Because he's so bored and all.
You tell him about those other bodies. He'll dart over, talk to Berthana briefly, and then he'll shoot out the door. He doesn't even stay to take any of the free food or booze.
No, I'm
Like
sure.
he's that desperate for something like interesting to do. Yeah, but other than that, pretty good night. At some point, when things are starting to wind down, good old Sheriff Hemlock moseys in. Walks in, tips his hat to Berthana, kind of strolls over to your table. Like, I heard you've had another adventure. One of you was pretty seriously injured. But you pulled through.
Yeah, I took care of him. I made sure nobody lost too much blood.
Pickwood, that's all they want is blood. So, good job.
Thanks. That's what I do. Mostly.
We talked previously about you maybe giving me a hand. Something's come up, and I'd like for you to stop by the town hall tomorrow. Speak to me and the mayor. Yeah, we had someone come in from the wilds with some news. And he'll look over at Ava. You might know her, Shalilu and Asana. And we'll need to decide her species as well.
Android.
Indeed.
Leave her an elf.
Yeah. She's an elf. She can be
Yeah.
an elf. That's fine. We have space elves.
All right. We have... Okay, she's an elf. She's
Oh, what's her
left
entry?
alone.
Her name is just too elven to change.
I might not have made an entry for her, unfortunately, because I was swamped doing other things, but I can create a handout for her right now.
Not a problem.
In the meantime, Lahan will chip in with a cheery, "We'd love to help."
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
There we go.
8 o'clock tomorrow, town hall.
Sounds great.
We'll be there.
We'll make sure
Okay.
that Lahan has her coffee.
I mean, he laughs at that, and he'll just pat Lahan on the shoulder and mosey back on out.
Spoiled rich kid never asked me up at 8 a.m.
8
And
a.m. is pretty early.
8 a.m.'s a
Those were the
luxury.
people-
So early.
those were the people I was bringing into this. From here on out, you guys can do a little bit of role playing if you want, or we can fast forward.
I'd be game to fast forward. We've spent a lot of time in the tavern role playing so far.
I don't need
Yeah.
to roleplay. My drinking.
We do enough of that.
Just
IO.
We
wanted to
drink
give
in
you guys
Mint-Berry.
the option.
Thank you.
I do appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Definitely gonna have a rowdy good time eating steaks and telling progressively more
Ridiculous tales.
fishtail type stories. Yeah,
Ah,
There
yes.
was 25
Oh.
to anyone
ticks
who
chasing us.
will listen.
Oh,
At some point, though, when things start winding down, Lahan does want to pull these guys aside. And, it's weird that Amiko isn't here. I'm a little bit worried about her.
does she normally go off? And
No,
is
it's not-
I heard
not
she was
like
an
her to-
adventurer, right? Or she was an adventurer. Is that it?
she was.
Do you
But-
think her father could have something to do with it?
Perhaps. He was pretty angry when he came in the other night.
And he was threatening to take
Yeah,
her
he
away,
was.
wasn't he?
He was.
I couldn't understand it, but that's the feeling I got from everyone talking afterwards.
Do you think we should look into that then?
Maybe.
Do you
Hey,
know
We
where?
seem to be good at
Persona.
looking into things.
Yes.
Katana, have you seen Amiko around anywhere? It's weird that she's not here tonight.
After the incident with her father, she's been holed up in her suite upstairs. I was just giving her some space. Didn't want to bother.
For the past 2 days?
At this point, it would be
3.
3. Okay, wow.
it is a little bit long. I would check on her later. It's been longer than normal. Usually a day, maybe 2 for her to take some time to herself, but this is a little bit excessive for her.
All
All right.
All right.
Well, let us know. Let us know if there's anything we can do.
You're the first ones I'll come to. And
Thanks.
she,
Look out.
and when she says that, she'll pat Finn on the shoulder.
Excellent.
Ooh, shoot, leg cramp. Oh gosh.
Don't die.
Not dying.
Hate when that
I
happens.
Caught it early before it went into full swing. All right.
That was the
if
only thing I
that's
had.
all- Okay. Anyone else? Nope. All right. 8 a.m. We all know that Ava is an early riser. Jacinto probably rises with the sun. Bum. And Finn probably gets up whenever Finn wants to get up. So 8 a.m. I don't imagine being an awful problem.
No.
Lahan sort of pours herself down the stairs.
In the direction of coffee.
You'll find, because I mean, Berthana's there moving around. She probably overheard your conversation. I feel like she's like this. She's near omnipotent or not omnipotent, near omniscient within the bar. I feel like she's one of those bartenders that just hears everything. And
Knows all the things.
yeah, giant like another 32-ounce thermos with your name written on the side, just like when you went out for the tick hunt.
Takes thermos. Sits in corner. Wait, or follows these guys probably. They're probably all ready to go.
Yeah.
Come on, Lahan. We got to go to the mayor's office. Nope, the sheriff's office. That's the one.
The town hall.
What a beautiful morning.
Is it a beautiful morning? What's the weather like on the moon today? Is it raining?
It's probably overcast. Because, again, we did establish it's a very rainy moon. I can't remember who said that. Feel like it was Simon. Simon Relief. They've cursed you all to rainy, overcast days.
Lame.
Still
England's
nice,
not
though.
all bad. I mean, Sandpoint's not all bad.
Nice. It feels good on my my. What do I call this thing? My flower.
Your husk.
That sounds vaguely
Your
sexual.
flower.
Your petals. You're not showing your
And the
stamen, are
petals.
you?
Still vaguely sexual.
Well, you know, flowers are reproductive organs of plants. Therefore,
So you
That
do
raises so many
make your way to the town hall. The town hall, unlike some of the other structures in the town that you've seen, seems to have been, since it was probably one of the first buildings built in Sandpoint, seems to have been built with a little bit of defense in mind. It's like poured, probably reinforced concrete. It's not like a light, airy metal skeletal structure with like crystalline walls like that flower shop or anything like that. This is squared off, multi-leveled. It's got narrow windows, like murder holes effectively, stuff like that, because they weren't sure how the moon was going to welcome them. They knew that there were some hostiles nearby in the form of goblins and other creatures. So they wanted to have a refuge that the small initial population could pull back to for defense. It's probably been maybe in an effort to make it less oppressive and sad. It's probably been painted like fairly brightly, probably like a royal purple like terracotta style roof tile or something like that, white walls, just something bright.
I like it.
Love it.
Stop saying
Ah.
You walk in. You're greeted by Sheriff Hemlock at the door, and he leads you back into the mayor's private office. The mayor is waiting in there. Mayor Devrin, who, if you'll all recall, is an uplifted bear.
Ah.
And I initially decreed that she was chocolate brown and maintained an afro because Ava's token was also Mayor Devrin's token. I have since decided that she is a sort of muted graying tint of royal purple, still with the afro. And her brother in town, one of the owner of the Two Night Brewery, also uplifted bear. Haven't determined their coloration yet, but they're roaming around. They're the consequence of Simon saying uplifted bear. And then also waiting in there, Ava and probably maybe Lahan would recognize Miss Andasana, the Shalilu. She's a very slender elven woman, very fit, vibrant green eyes, sun bleached, like platinum blonde hair, with, of all things, a bow slung over her shoulder. And when you walk in, the sheriff's like, "This is Mayor Devrin. You have obviously never met her. You might have seen her projected up at the festival. Lahan, Ava, you've at least seen her in passing, I'm sure. And over here is Miss Andasana. She's sort of an unofficial member of the Sandpoint Guard. She's a little bit of an expert in the Goblin Tribes." And he'll sort of pause and look at Ava for a moment. And he will then look to her and say, "Miss Shalilu, these are our goblin slayers." And you can hear the quotes. They stood up to the raid during the festival and did a fairly good job. This one here we met after. Also a good goblin slayer, helped destroy a beast that had caused some pretty awful emotional harm to a family, as well as physical harm to one of the members. And I trust them. I need you to give us just a briefing, like what you've noticed out in the wilds.
Oh, shit.
And I'm not going to be good at a voice for her, so I'm just going to read this. Baylor's told me of your work against the goblins. Well done. I've dedicated the last several years of my life to keeping them from causing too much trouble around these parts, but they're tenacious, fecund little runts, like weeds that bite. There are 5 major goblin tribes in the region, and as she's saying this, she's kind of looking at Ava, because Ava and Shalilu, of all people, should kind of know each other, probably have a mutual respect. Feel free to jump in here at any time, Ava. And traditionally, they're pretty good at keeping each other in line with their intertribal squabbles. But from what I've been able to piece together, members of all 5 tribes were involved in the raid on Sandpoint. A fair number of the Mosswood goblins, I dealt with them yesterday. They were already pretty beat up, and there was a lot of chatter about Longshanks who killed many of them. Now I've met you. Seems obvious from their descriptions who they were talking about. You 3 are very familiar. There was supposed to be another one that looked much like you, and she'll point at Jacinto. Seems like you've made an impression.
Well, I was just doing, what I could to stop them from burning down the town, and I don't want to say more importantly, but I was selfishly concerned about the carnival that I rode in with. So, wanted to make sure they didn't do too much damage. That's all.
When you say that, she'll kind of smile.
Do the tribes usually work together? That doesn't seem like something I've ever heard of.
No, not at all.
This is very unusual.
Yeah, and she'll cede the floor to Ava. If you have anything to say here, go right ahead.
No, she's just kind of like in deep thought about it. But she will, like as she's thinking about it, respond like that. Yes. No, it's odd for them to be working together.
Do we have
Yeah,
any
they
idea?
don't use.
Do we have any idea how many they are numbers-wise between the various tribes?
It fluctuates. They are sort of a population cap on themselves. Like their interfighting usually keeps their numbers at a manageable level, but them working together is troubling because if they're not fighting each other, that's hundreds of goblins that could potentially be aimed at this town. And they don't stop fighting unless they've got something big planned. And a big plan with these guys it requires a big boss, like someone that can cow them and keep them from being at each other's throats. I'm just afraid someone's come in and organized them. And with these recent raids, it seems like it's going to be something bad
Oh
for
no!
this whole town.
And if
What
they're
It's a bunch of goblins.
anything like the one that we encountered in that residence, the town is in some serious trouble. That was a tough little bugger.
Yeah, that was he was something.
Yeah, when that's brought up, Sheriff Hemlock's face gets pretty dark. And he's like, and because of that, I'm going to take a few of my guards and I'm going to Magnimar Station to see if I can get additional soldiers, guards, whatever they will give me to bolster our ranks, just in case something happens. While I'm gone, I've asked Shalilu here to sort of scout out Shank's Wood, give us a, Shank's Wood, the Brine Stump, the Mosswood, the Devil's Platter, anywhere else these goblins tend to congregate, so that we have the most current information we can have when we come back. She's probably the most experienced guard we have other than me, with the two of us gone. And you four being well-known goblin slayers, I'd like to deputize you. I want you guys to step in, make yourselves known, let the town see that you're out there doing things so that they don't worry while I'm gone and while she's gone.
I'm more than willing to help, but how long of a commitment is being deputized going to be?
I mean, until I get back. Probably a week tops. It depends on if they keep me cooling my heels, waiting for official meeting.
I think I can manage that. Looks around to the rest of the group. Are you guys in as well?
I'd be happy to help.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
might catch some gruff from Lahane's brothers, though. They don't seem too keen on her hanging with us.
Well,
phooey.
if they come and give you guff, show him this, and he'll pull out a case, and he'll give you each this. It's like a little nondescript pin, and he'll pin it to your lapel or lapel analog. And if you tap it, a little holographic sheriff star will sort of. And it's official. It's like your badge.
Finn taps
Yeah.
it and gives a light chuckle.
This is so cool. Pins it to his little like the collar of his robes.
Well, this is honestly
Don't worry,
something I
Sheriff
would have
Hemlock.
never expected.
You're so tiny. I picture it being like center of your chest, almost like a mini breastplate.
Yeah.
Is the star
Unfortunately,
still...
it's not a
Slightly
holographic
undersized
shield that just
breastplate.
Wait. But is the star still medium size? Like, when he puts it up, is it like as big as him?
yeah.
He's a foot, so it's probably
I
a
hide
3-inch
behind it.
star. So it's probably a good chunk of his body. It's like his entire torso in front of him when he activates it.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic. I love it.
Blocks magic missiles.
Yeah.
And at this point, as much as I would love to do an info dump for you, because a book as written Shalilo's supposed to give you a massive info dump. Ava's your actual local expert, and she has all this information. So feel free to pry this out of her.
Yeah, Ava.
So, Ava, what do you know about the local Goblin Tribes? Tell us everything.
And if you start
We'll
asking
let
these
you down, Sheriff
questions,
Hemlock.
if you start asking these questions, the sheriff will show you a side room that you can have this meeting in. And the mayor was just kind of quiet and pleasant the whole time. She didn't have a whole lot to say, other than I kind of beefed it a little bit. Like when you accept the responsibility, she thanks you very much. She's very appreciative of your efforts. And if you have anything of import that you realize, or if you need any official assistance, here's her comm code. Feel free to contact her or meet her at her office. She spends most of her free time here. And, she just, gives you a polite goodbye when the sheriff escorts you over to a side room to have a meeting and a powwow.
Before she leaves,
We have the mayor's comm code.
Finn also would like to ask if there's any pay for the
Come on,
deputy gig before she leaves.
We can work something out. If that's what it's going to take to make you be visible and present for the town, we'll work something out.
Excellent.
Yeah, that would probably be best.
And
we got places to
actually,
be.
There's living
the
expenses,
sheriff
you know?
when the sheriff when he drops you off in that room, he's not going to stick around, but he'll look at Ava, narrow his eyes, and he'll be like, "I know you," and he'll throw something at you, Ava. And if you reach out to catch it, it's like it's a wrist comm.
Oh, no, she
knows.
She just kind of looks at it like, whatever, and doesn't put it on her wrist. She puts it in a pocket.
Just keep it on you. Like, you're an official person now. You need to be reached in an emergency.
Eva has not
Yeah,
been person before this.
And he'll just mutter under his breath as he's leaving. It's like, it's a good thing that those batteries last like 80 years.
Ava considers, batteries that last 80 years. Wow. I could definitely pry those out and use those for something useful.
Oh gosh, dang it, Ava.
And at that point, I and all of my NPCs have stepped out of this room for you to now start questioning Ava. Because Shalilu knows that Ava knows everything she knows pretty much. She's given you the new information. She's going to get a jump on her task.
Excellent.
So, to recap, Shaylu's going out to look into the goblins more, and the sheriff is going to Magnimar. He's trying to get help. And
That
we're
is
holding
correct.
down the fort.
You're holding down the fort. He's trying to get more soldiers to help hold the wall if that's necessary. And Shalilu is scouting for more information.
All right. So, Ava, have you ever seen goblins like the one that you were out in the woods? It was the one that the sheriff was talking about with the family and the guy. It
was a
face
mean
was gone.
goblin.
That was a...
What did
have you
it
seen
look
things like
Did it
that?
look different? Did it look different from the
It didn't look different,
other goblins?
but it was strong.
It was beefy.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look much different from the ones that we saw that day, right?
Its behavior was a bit different.
Its behavior was different, yes, but in appearance, maybe it was a little beefier.
ripped.
But
Huh. Well, strong goblins aren't unheard of. That's not surprising. In what way was its behavior different, though?
it was like feral. It was like a wild animal.
Isn't
We
that
think it
kind
was
of how all
threatening.
goblins are?
Well,
Even more feral than usual, you say?
But
yes.
there are goblins who are not as feral and aggressive as the ones around here.
Well,
Atticus says on Magnimar, there are goblins that are functioning members of society.
wait. Okay, I just needed a second to process that. Yes, that is true. There are functioning goblin members of society. These ones, though, the local goblin troops are certainly nothing close resembling a society, nor functioning either, you would say.
Well, anything you think we should worry about while we're holding down the fort for
Do you have,
the sheriff?
Well, this might take a little bit. Why don't we all sit down and Ava gets her PowerPoint presentation on the goblins right now. There are 5 major goblin tribes in the region that are really of importance. There's the bird crunchers. They live in caves along the western edge of the Devil's Platter. But they're usually the least aggressive of the 5, so it probably wasn't one of them. The lick-toed goblins of Brine Stump Marsh are excellent swimmers, but I mean, not really anything of note beyond that. I don't think they're all exceptionally that strong, and when it comes to fighting, the 7-toothed goblins of Shankswood, they've certainly secured a place for themselves by raiding Sandpoint, Sandpoint's recycling storage. Nothing too obscene, but they do take what they find there and turn it into various and sundry weapons and pieces of gear. Now, the Mosswood goblins are the largest tribe out there, but they're usually more interested in their own affairs rather than those of outside their own feuding families. It's the Thistletop goblins that I really worry about. They live on the Nettlewood coast atop a small island that some say holds a passing resemblance to an ancient crashed starship. They might have access to some different technologies, but I've never been able to get close enough to confirm this.
That sounds exciting.
Does.
Indeed. I've done reconnaissance on all of these goblins. I've actually interrogated a couple in the past days. But hadn't really heard anything leading me to suspect altered behavior. I'm a little intrigued by that.
Do these goblins
I have a
a-
question for Ava.
Shoot.
So, I know a little bit about Ava's history. Did you wipe out the tribe that took you?
Oh, I mean,
Or did you just
yeah,
escape?
obviously with the help of feral, non-uplifted
Bears.
bears. Yeah, non-uplifted bears.
And maybe
Just
one day
regular
we'll
bears.
find out the name of that now non-existent tribe.
Yeah, Ava didn't bother to learn it.
All
It
right.
was not important.
No one's heard of them in 20 years.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt, Finn.
So-
Go forth and ask your question.
Ava, Lahani, do these goblins have a history of attacking Sandpoint with regularity, or is this new behavior?
I mean, I've never seen an attack like this. There's been some
Yeah.
squabbles on the walls from time to time, but like
Attacking
Ava said,
Sandpoint
someone steal
proper
this
is-
trash, but they haven't really been a problem.
Yeah. When they'll sometimes attack, those that venture beyond the wall, or various outposts that aren't as well defended. But it really, honestly, seemed like a suicide mission for them to just come in here like they did. Not that they're above things like that.
Really odd. I mean, goblins are dumb, right? But they're not that dumb. They have survival instinct.
Yeah.
And they know
Generally.
better than to attack Sandpoint. So what were they doing?
Well, that's the interesting thing.
How?
In my travels, I was able to learn that apparently they were all rallied behind some leader.
How
No, I wasn't
intelligent
able to
are
figure out who this
goblins?
was, but apparently it was, well, someone a lot more intelligent than a goblin, let's say.
I've always
But
imagined.
why would they want? What was that? Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Jacinto.
Oh, but why would they want the goblins to attack the town, the settlement? Like, what do they gain from that? Was it a distraction?
Sounded like it was a distraction, yes.
Yeah, it very well
This-
could have been. Maybe they were after. I wonder what they were after, though. What were
Well,
they
this-
creating a distraction to cover?
Well, this leader apparently came to Sandpoint at the same time and made their way to the graveyard. I wasn't able to get them to tell me any more than that, but that was apparently the secondary mission that their non-goblin leader was there for. Starting to really seem more and more like it was just a distraction for whatever their nefarious purposes were.
Well, we should go check out the graveyard then.
Do you think?
Didn't somebody already ask us to check out the graveyard?
Me,
Ava did.
Ava, I asked you to do that,
Oh, it was just-
but then we
it
got
was just
distracted
Ava.
by a tick hunt.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
Do you think it would be
well-
possible?
Oh, I should point this way for Ava. She's on that side of my box.
Oh.
Do you think it would be possible for us to capture a goblin to interrogate it?
I've captured like several dozen in the past couple of days. Absolutely. What's a few more?
Because I figure that we can, A, be a good presence around town to keep people from panicking. B, check out the graveyard. C, go catch ourselves a goblin.
But if we leave town to catch a goblin, who's defending the town?
That is a good
We're not the
point.
only guards. Deputies. Things.
Well, we can always do A and B for now,
Oh,
and then go after a goblin in the future.
That's not a bad idea. This way we stay in the town, and who knows? Maybe things will shake out, and we won't need a goblin. Maybe the goblins
Yeah.
will come to us.
See, I was thinking that. Maybe we could lure a goblin to town. I don't know.
maybe.
that's an
But if they have
idea.
someone smart organizing them, they're probably keeping their distance.
That's fair.
Let's go check out the graveyard. It's still early.
Ah, it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
It's astounding to me that goblins are smart enough to be foot soldiers. I've always thought of them as kind of mindless killing machines.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some goblins working on like space stations and stuff like that we would stop by. They can be reasonable people.
Only half goblins, I'm sure.
Well, no, these
People
were
from
full
Sandpoint are really
goblins.
racist against goblins.
Yeah, seems that way.
Super
Problem with,
spaces.
with converting the AP when Rune Lords was written, goblins were just bad. All bad. all the time. And now we've come
Well-
10 years later and goblins are our friends.
Yeah,
Well,
goblins are like one
these
of the most popular
goblins-
races I've seen in PF2.
I thought I specifically said these goblins have bad reputations. I thought I specified it was just the local ones. The local ones just have a bad reputation.
Well, Lahan's
Yeah.
never been anywhere else. She's only heard of goblins that are decent.
Yeah. If you ever meet a decent one somewhere else, that's going to be shock. I can't imagine Ava.
Yeah, that's gonna be a
She'd see
thing.
a goblin coming down the corridor, and she'd prepare herself for a fight.
And the goblins would be like, huh, I'm just a bird.
Why do you attack me?
Yeah, pull an axe on the janitor.
Help, there's a murder lady.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Jacinto's definitely encountered some normal space goblins, some non-evil space goblins in his travels.
Goblins with the circus who found out they were going to Sandpoint and just were like, no.
Hey, no, you
They're
know what?
racist.
You go on without me. I'll be back.
They were actually
Um,
specifically told that they might want to sit this one out.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
No,
might just want to
there-
hang out in orbit.
just for like story reasons, like, were these goblins like native to this moon, or did they crash here long before the settlers came? Were they stowaways on the settler ships in the early days who then like went out into the wilds and became feral? What is the deal with
I
these
feel like
goblins?
that last one is most.
Well, the thing is the current goblins don't remember back far enough. And then in addition to that, who's actually questioned them about their history? So people don't know. They just know the local goblins are garbage people.
Garbage
Yeah.
goblins.
I think I'm gonna headcanon the last one that they stowed away and like took off into the wilds and formed these little tribes and became all feral, like Lord of the Fliesified out there.
That's Lahan's theory, and she can stick to it. You may or may not find out.
It's a classic Alaskan move. You know, you move from the lower 48 up to Alaska to get away from insert certain government or, you know, other official thing, and, you know, you have it.
And you go feral.
Virus, warrants for your
Ala-
arrest.
Start eating dogs.
Alaskans are just feral goblin people. There you go.
I
All feral
have
goblins.
moved us over to a new map. It doesn't appear to be displaying in stream.
Yeah, my Discord.
I don't know if you guys
let
are-
me, I'm going to close.
I do see it
and
on mine.
Open my Roll20 because it was actually just having an issue with other things. So give me just 1 second, okay?
Okay.
You just
No
refresh
worries.
it.
I can
While you're
try
doing that,
it's gonna make things look weird. I'm sorry, humans.
Jacinto even
no.
has Goblin as one of his languages because I always think that's a fun language to just happen to know.
Oh yeah, it's always a
just in
useful
case.
one to have.
Yeah.
If Pathfinder taught me anything, no goblin.
He's got
you go.
Goblin, Raxi, and Isoki.
Refreshing was a wonderful idea. Thank you, whoever suggested that.
I was gonna suggest a hard reload if that didn't work.
No, I'd been trying to load the info for the graveyard a second ago and it wasn't going. I had suspected something was up.
Right,
How
this
rude.
is. Ow! I just cracked my elbow. This is a new day.
It's
So
been
we
a couple of days.
Yeah.
I get my stamina back.
Yeah, you guys should get
No
all your
longer.
stamina, anything spent on your tokens, that should be refreshed. Been a day since the hunt, and I don't think any of you were down into the hit points after you got inside the walls.
No, and if we were, I'm pretty sure I healed it all.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got all healed up when we came back. We even stopped and saw Father Vithazantus to get Aldern healed and all that.
So this is a snapshot of the cemetery. And by snapshot, I mean this is where all of the tombstones and tombs are located. The graveyard, the area marked out for the graveyard is significantly bigger than this, but it's not filled. I mean, it's not a massive town. The town's been here for... My brain is telling me 40 and 80 years at the same time. It's one or the two. I think it's...
Go with 80.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Split the
I
difference,
apologize.
call it 60.
Sure, yeah. Until I go back and re-listen because I'm crazy and paranoid and want to get things accurate.
I'm sure our audience will tell us if we're wrong, right, guys?
Yes.
Right.
I'm now leaning more towards 40 years because I remember thinking, Ava was here at the founding if she's like 50 something, and then Leif changed her age a little bit.
I don't know, man.
No,
So-
that sounds right.
These
Was
little
born
white,
here. I've never left.
About
It's
these
as old
white
as time.
rectangles. Sorry.
I'm 19. Nothing existed before I did.
Ah.
It's all speculative.
These little white rectangles, they're just tombstones. And up here, Lahan for sure, maybe Ava if she cared, would know that this stone building here, it's a mausoleum for Father Tobin, the previous priest in the previous temple that was burned to the ground about 5 years ago. And you can see that the front door, made of stone. This is not poured concrete. This is actually worked native stone. Native stone carved statues in front. They have the symbol of the butterfly on them. He was a priest of Desna. And stone doors, slabs of stone, and they're kind of off kilter on their hinges, as though someone's done something to them, forced them open.
Well,
Like, a
that's
great
foreboding.
deal of care went into this mausoleum. People liked Father Tobin.
Well,
And Lahan would also remember they had a little bit of an obsession with his adopted daughter.
Who did? Who had an obsession? The town?
The town as a whole. Because her name was Nualia. You would know this. Ava might. I don't know how much she'd pay attention. I don't know if she's especially religious. But Nualia was, the town obsessed over her a little bit because she was a planar scion. She was an Azamar. And some of the people were a little bit superstitious. So, like, sometimes they'd, like, try and steal some of her hair or get her to touch their babies because they thought that she would bring them good luck or good health or stuff like that.
Okay.
And, she was a teenage girl when all this was going on, and it had gone on for a significant portion of her life, and she was not dealing with it the best, because who wants to deal with that nonsense?
Yeah. What happened to her?
She died in the fire with Father Tobin.
that's really sad.
So what are we looking for, Ava? Ava?
Clues. Anything that seems out of place.
All right.
All right,
Like
let's look
that
around.
door hanging off of its hinges?
Oh, that's right. There's a door hanging off its hinges.
I mean, that does seem like a clue.
I was gonna say we could
Check it out.
take a 20 and do a thorough investigation of the area too.
Let's go ahead and do that before we enter the tomb.
All right. So you're going to do a perception check or a survival. Either or is acceptable.
Can we take 20 on that?
'Cause we're in no
Taking
rush.
our sweet time.
Sure. I'm not going to say no to that.
Sweet.
I'm sure that if you take 20, you will beat the DC that I have established, and
good.
you're going to find that there are many, many footprints around this mausoleum, but some of them appear to have been left by a larger humanoid. And because you did is one of you doing perception, one of you doing survival?
Perception.
Because I have two separate.
Yeah, Ava will do survival. She's got a +4.
Okay, so Finn notices all the footprints, and that one set of footprints is significantly larger than a goblin's. Ava pieces together that it's 6 goblins and 1 medium humanoid, that they appear to have climbed the wall and approached and then entered the vault, the mausoleum.
Interesting. So we are going into the mausoleum.
Yeah, it looks
Nothing
like,
else?
Oh, yes.
But now we know how many. Can I get that number one more time? Maybe
It
catch
was
up on my notes here.
it was the footprints of 6 goblins and 1 medium-sized humanoid.
Do they,
Thank you. Okay.
Do they look
Suspicious.
Do they look the right age to have been the day of the attack?
Yeah, they're old enough that
Several days old.
Yeah, it's definitely it happened during the festival.
Okay.
Based on Ava's extensive knowledge of weathering of footprints over days in rainy, humid, moist environment.
She's been doing this for 40+ years. She knows.
Jacinto is going to look around the party and consider everybody and say, Lahan, here. Let me cast a spell, just in case we find anything in there. And Jacinto will cast Pyre Wreath. Is it Pyric Wreath or something like that?
I
Pyre
believe
Wreath.
it's Pyric Wreath, isn't it?
It's just Pyre. So he's going to cast Pyre on Lahan, and 3 orbs are going to start orbiting. Your head, around your shoulders, whatever you prefer, and you can use a reaction to gain resistance to fire damage with those.
Nice.
Resist
Nice.
5 fire. Yeah. Because they had laser pistols at the festival fight, so I figured that maybe it'll come in
Right.
handy. I don't know.
It might be
If
more
nothing else.
handy to put it on yourself because I bought this nifty harness that gives me fire resistance.
It's already been done.
You got a thermal capacitor?
No, I got the other one. The thermal capacitor installs in your armor, and then there's what is it called? It is a thermal capacitor more or less, but it's a belt instead.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. I would be very
Yes, it is a
interested.
thing.
The more you
Well-
know.
Yeah. Then as the orbs go
Thermal
towards her, I'm gonna. What is it?
Thermal regulator.
Thermal regulator. Interesting. I'm going
Looks like
to
an armor upgrade, but it's a harness.
zip them over to Ava or Finn. Ava or Finn. They're gonna go over to Ava.
Cool.
So now Ava has fire resistance 3 times
Ava's
as a reaction.
Even more unkillable.
Even more. Yes. She laughs. She's like, "You fool! You've made me more powerful." And then she goes Super Saiyan, and no.
When she'll strike you down.
Yes.
Preemptive healing.
So, quick question, because I know it's supposed to be 3 little orbs of light. Do we want to put a musical spin on that? Because again,
How so?
you're a Malephile.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Do they look like notes? Do they? I don't know the proper term for the 3 or 4 lines with the notes. Like maybe that's sort of circling their head.
I was
don't know.
thinking.
Just an idea.
I like the idea of them when you activate one of them, a small burst of music, like a not a fanfare necessarily, but a trill of music escapes from the orb as it bursts. So they're just in terms of appearance, I guess they're just sort of colored orbs. We'll say they are white orbs, and when they pop, they give a little bit of music, a song.
I have an idea. Feel free to absolutely say no. And I know the spell describes it as an orb, but what if each one was a line circling their head and they were waveforms? Say no. That's totally fine. Just an idea.
I like the orbs better because it's the whole Song of the Spheres thing as well.
That makes sense. All right. Just an idea, man.
Thank you, though. Thank you.
All right. So we've got you here on this map. You've moved yourselves where you would like to be before you cast this spell. Or are you doing it from like 30 feet away?
Oh, I'll probably do it when we were before we approached the mausoleum and stuff like that. Once I knew that we were going in there and that there had been mention of goblins.
Oh, I'd be up front. Keep my buddies safe. I'll bash that door in.
Actually, I don't need to be that close.
Heck, we could even put you in my backpack.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sort of back here.
Oh man,
Let these 2 throw open the door. Have my riffle at the ready.
riffle.
I want to try and
Ripple.
see if there's anybody in there still. We should make sure that we're not walking into a trap, guys. Who wants to perception with me? Because I have
Oh,
a
I'll
plus
I'll,
0.
I'll help
I'll
you.
I can
perceive
percept
things.
from back here.
I ain't got very much, but I'll help
We
you. I got a -1.
Let's perceive.
8.
27.
Oh, Jesus, heck, Pepper.
Can we hear
Okay.
anything back there?
To be fair, Jacinto,
Up to my nut go.
you're real far back. And you're trying to look through a door.
I could get closer if you want me to get closer. I would be absolutely fine with
If
that.
you want to use that roll, you kind of need to be up on that door looking in, because otherwise all you can really see is a tiny, tiny sliver
There we go.
You'd be like looking in and seeing an angle to where that torch sconce or lighting sconce really.
Well, Finn
and,
would stop him from
column
getting too
is-
close to that door before we actually get a chance to check it out.
Finn doesn't want me to get close to the door.
No, I don't want Jacinto to be the first one in.
Oh well, I'm not gonna be the first one in. I'm just trying to see,
Okay, like, put my arm down.
see inside.
Just be careful.
I'll stay back. Thank
So, with that 18, Finn, you are going to notice this. Jacinto will notice this if they stop where they have stopped. In this corner here,
Nothing lit up.
you see that there's like a jumbled up sort of pile of bones. And at first glance, it's a pile of bones, but you look a little bit closer and you realize there's something not right about that pile of bones. You suspect that it's sort of lying in wait, not really just a inanimate pile of bones. It might be an undead creature of some sort.
I'm gonna get
Bum, bum,
Ava's attention,
bum.
and I'm gonna signal and point towards the pile of bones. Is there a role for conveying messages through hands? I thought there was in this game.
Bluff.
A bluff?
Send secret messages. Yes.
Okay.
That's neat.
I heard that a bunch of times. Goodness.
Can we go with the first one? No, I rolled twice.
I only see your roll once.
Oh,
I see it
I
twice.
see a
Once
lapis
as
and a
well.
fin.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah, sorry. Oh, weird. Yeah, you can go with that 18.
Okay, and
You could.
I think you need to roll to Does he need to roll to understand it, or does he just get it?
I think he just gets it in
Okay.
this one.
I feel like that's a high enough number that you can convey something's weird with that pile of bones.
Yeah. Ava, you've just got hand signals conveying you to look at the pile of bones in the corner, conveying that it's weird shit, weird stuff.
Yeah, Ava draws her hand axe. Actually, no, her. Yeah, no, we're going with that. Never mind. Too many weapon options.
Do we have
No.
something
No roll for the
do we have
person receiving
something
the message.
ominous or suspenseful that we could queue up in the sound?
I think we could.
And while Ava's pulling out her axe, I'm gonna seize my stellar moat and bring my void gauntlet into being. So I've already got my weapon out
Yes,
and prepped.
your gauntlet made of the absence of light.
It's good for knocking
All
people's
right,
lights
so
out.
let's roll an initiative. We know something hinky's going on. Let's get that initiative out of the way. Everyone, click on your token before you hit roll
A seven.
initiative.
Oh, that's a
It's
good
so
one.
good, guys.
So with having perceived this, can I also make a stealth check to try and get a sneak attack round or something? Or
I think you, whoever has been made aware of this, is going to get a surprise action
perfect.
because they don't think that you know that they are there. They don't necessarily know you're there themselves because while you haven't been super quiet, there are a pile of bones laying in the corner of a mausoleum. Everyone rolled.
How do we feel about this
Like-
this music track?
I like it.
Is it
It's
okay?
working.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I like it.
It's doing
Pretty
it
As
good.
long as it's not too loud.
I don't think it's too loud.
Audience, let us
Yeah, I've
know
adjusted
how you like the music in chat.
Yeah, let me know if any volume levels need fixing, because I am the volume queen.
I think my points are backwards. I think I'm mirrored. I think chat's that way.
Yeah, it's that way. You got it.
Yeah. All right. So the first person that's going to get to act is Ava.
And yeah, she's gonna go ahead and I don't see the skeleton.
Yeah, it's not
I
on the map yet.
will.
What
High or
skeleton?
low?
Where?
I mean,
Ah! That's a Nilly. Run!
You don't know that.
oh god.
Oh,
the art.
goodness,
the art is
no.
a Nilly. That was
So-
not a
No, it's a
character
drift.
joke.
That's a drift dead, isn't it?
That's just the token that I'm using as a stand-in because I'm using only official Paizo stuff for undead and only Seth stuff because he was kind enough to give me permission.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to differentiate undead.
Yeah,
So-
that's a spooky looking undead.
It's spooky looking. Run! I mean, fight because we're heroes.
Yeah, can I see it from where I am?
You would have to move up to actually see it, because right now you're staring through a wall and looking at the other corner, and your perception was pretty low. It is dark
Yep.
in there too. It's not actually lit. So do you have dark vision or a light source active? Or dark vision?
No, but my one armor slot is occupied by infrared sensors. So
There you go.
200 credits. Take that. Well, and since it's a surprise round, Ava will just go ahead and move and be done. Move to there.
Nice.
Wait, where did... Oh,
Wait, let me make sure I can move to there.
I like the music flare right as you move.
That was unnecessarily
cannot move
dramatic
there.
music.
I moved to
Okay.
there. Actually, I can't move to there
Alright.
because it's a pillar. I moved to there. There we go.
Let's get you guys all
all right.
zoomed
As you fully move in there, I would like another perception check from you.
Ask that we hold off all further perception checks until level 2, and when I can actually.
Oh, that's fine. You just see that one guy and get that one guy in the corner.
Oh, that one
Coming
guy.
in here-
Okay, cool.
That one guy in the corner. One thing you'll notice in that pile of bones, because they haven't stood up, is what appears to be some sort of two-handed hammer and like bits and pieces of a mostly intact set of. I feel like you'd probably know this, being as you're a weapons buff, Iridius shell.
Noted.
I mean, you could roll,
after Ava,
physical
it's-
science for recall.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to. Well, I mean, if you want to know about specific weapons, if you want to try and know about what the creature is, it would be mysticism.
Okay.
But if that's all you're doing, that's the information I've given you. It's Lahan's turn.
Surprise
Well, I
round.
would
That's all I
rather-
can do. Move her a standard, right?
Oh, are we still in
Yeah,
surprise?
move aura standard. Yeah, it's the surprise.
I'd really rather be where Jacinto is, but I'll move up here into the doorway where I'll be able to get a shot on it.
And again, it is dark in here. Ava has
That's
the
fine.
infrared sensors. Do you
I do
have
too.
dark vision? Okay, I could not recall. Just wanted to be sure. Is that all you got going on?
That's it. That's my move.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Jacinto, it is your turn.
Hi. Jacinto wants to. Well, he wants to make an attack on this thing with his little projectile, telekinetic projectile. I think he's going to do that even if Lahan is in the way. He doesn't want to get too close. Finn told him not to go too close. He's going to listen. So he's going to.
Climb up on my shoulder.
Toss me. Cannot jump the distance you'll have to toss me. No, so I'm going to just look at something on the ground. I imagine there's some rubble maybe over around here, and I'm gonna point at it, and it is going to hit. Hopefully, with any luck, is going to hit this creature. Nope, that's a 6. With a 5 on the die, I get a 6. That is all I do.
Strike.
That's a standard action.
All right, Finn, you get a standard or a move action. This is the surprise round.
All right. I'm gonna take a move. I think that my attunements are swift. Can I do one of those as well, or just a
Attunement is actually a free action.
nice on a photon attune? So there's gonna be a little tiny bit of light brewing in my void gauntlet.
Right?
15, 20, 25, 30. I'll get right in this thing's face. And
All right. As you get that far up, please give me a perception check.
okay. it's weapon ready, it would. No, I didn't move through. I just moved into. I'm good.
And it hasn't acted, so it doesn't get an attack of opportunity. It doesn't get a reaction.
Perception.
Okay, you're fine. And that should be your whole turn.
Yep. I just want to get up in its face, so it focuses on me and not my buddies. Hopefully, we'll see.
All right,
Very
we're
kind.
back around. It's a new turn, and someone new is joining the fray.
Oh no!
An ally.
Yeah, it's an ally. We we called in the cavalry.
Oh.
And what's happening is they are
Oh, no.
going to step here. Foolishly, I might add.
Indeed,
And-
quite foolishly.
And then I need to make something visible to you folks as they do a standard action to activate their stench glands.
Ugh.
Gross.
Stinky.
So that should pop up visible to you guys shortly. There should be an aura.
Yep, I can see it.
Let me know if you're not seeing that, and I'll have to fiddle
Oh,
with things.
no, there is.
It looks like it's barely catching me. Does that catch me or not, Jet?
And I'm gonna need. Sorry, what?
That looks like it's barely catching my sparrow.
yes.
Does it catch me or not?
The trouble
no.
with circles, it technically does not.
It does not. I need a fortitude saving throw from Ava.
On its turn or my turn?
It will be stench glands. Let me pull the descriptor up.
I'll just roll it in, and then it can take effect whenever you want it to. I got an 11.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Too bad I'm not. Too bad this isn't iteration 13. They don't have to breathe.
They don't breathe.
It says creatures that move into it, so I imagine it would be at the start of your turn.
Yeah, I'll accept that. What's
All
what's
right.
about to happen to me? Since it's
Well,
looking
that
like
was
my
actually it, because they had moved, and to activate the stench glands is a standard action.
Oh no, that's what I mean. I
So-
mean, like, it's gonna be the beginning of my turn in a second. What does the gland do?
Oh, you made the check, so you're fine.
Oh,
Oh.
cool.
And now you're not bothered by the smell. It feels homey, maybe. I don't know. You like rotten things. This skeleton pieced itself together, stood up, clack, 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 clack. It's got glowing orbs, like a glowing energy coming from within its skull. It's covered in, like, kind of beaten up armor. It's holding what appears to be, if I remember correctly, a glass-looking dagger in its hand. And I still have a swift action, actually. And it shakes out its other arm, and a shield iris is open.
Gross.
And that's its turn.
Yeah, gross.
That's cool.
Gross.
Gonna go
Gross
ahead and
and
respond in kind with a full attack from my hand axes. Oh gosh, that's a 5 on the first attack and a 13 on the second.
Targeting KAC.
Yes.
That will miss both of them. The first one is easily deflected with the dagger blade, and the one that comes much closer is actually pushed back with the shield. The iris is open just in time. That was your full attack, so we're going to be moving on to Lahan.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
And you see little, like, wisps of, like, a sickly green cloud sort of rolling out the door.
That's
You
that's
probably
gross.
heard a flatulent noise.
I'm gonna combat track that one and shoot it. It's a 14 hit EAC
That will hit.
for 4 points of cold damage.
Nope, you're good.
And that's it. I pass on to Jacinto.
You clip one of its ribs. It freezes over and cracks a little bit. And it's on to Jacinto.
All right, Jacinto is. I have a shot on the thing because I was here last round and I took a shot. So, yeah, Jacinto's just gonna huck another piece of rubble at this this undead in the corner. That is an unnatural 20
Nice.
with a 19 on the die. That is about as good as I can do, my friend.
You strike true,
Yes.
clocking this skeletal figure in the dome with that little piece of rubble for 4 points of damage.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
That was your standard. Or were you gonna do anything with your move, swift, anything?
I don't want to do anything with my move or swift just yet.
Okay. We are on to Finn.
All right.
Finn, you have a skeleton that clacked together in front of you, holding a massive two-handed hammer that's glowing with a red energy, covered in a partially broken set of Iridishell armor, and it's eyeing you.
All right. I'm gonna enter my second
Sing.
round of photon attunement. So the little specks of light in my void gauntlet are getting brighter, and I'm going to full round attack him with said gauntlet.
Okay. Strike it me.
15 and a 5.
He will actually spin that hammer far more deftly than you imagined him to be able to, and he will knock your fist aside both times.
Damn.
Oh,
And it's now his turn. And he is going to wind up and full attack with that hammer.
Oh no!
no turns for skeletons.
They don't need turns. What are they gonna do with that? It's just gonna lead to disaster.
I need to look up the weapons property. I'm sorry.
You're looking things
Okay.
up.
It does not
Move
apply
your
to this
turn.
situation. No, I don't. So it's going to be a full attack. So, and does a 21 strike you?
Oh yeah. I'm a level 1.
And this will not strike you because why can't I do math? A 7 will miss you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the first strike does a total of 7 damage that is electrical
Okay.
and fire.
Hang on, I've got some sort of resistance to this. What is my resistance?
This guy's swinging a plasma hammer.
Rude.
Oh no, okay, not that. So
It-
7?
It is a. I'll tell you what it is after the fight if you want, because it's going to be part of your loot.
So
That's
7
exciting.
total?
7, yes.
7 total. So if you're resistant to either electrical or fire, divide it in half and then just divide it more favorably for you.
I'm not. I thought I might have been, but I'm not.
Okay, and then we're on to the other skeleton, the one that unleashed the cloud of unpleasantness, or as I refer to it as the Stench Skeleton.
And I like Cloud of Unpleasantness.
Well, I mean, it's in a cloud of unpleasantness, but it is the Stench Skeleton. And what kind of action is it to align a shield? I am so sorry, I don't know that off the top of my head.
A move action to align your shield for that
Okay,
bonus.
so it's going to align its shield against Ava, and then it's going to attempt to stab Ava with its glass blade.
Do it.
Strike me down.
Does 17 strike you?
A 17 would not strike me.
Ah!
Snap. Ava's a tank.
Person.
That's the idea.
Yes.
Thank God, too, because I'm absolute garbage in combat.
Once I get better armor, I'm gonna be.
No, you are
Well, that's
very
better out
useful
there,
in
too.
combat. You're just not a damage dealer.
Well,
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a damage dealer when I hit.
yeah.
Sword is
well,
underrated.
And now it's Ava's turn.
Gonna go ahead and utilize her shield, move action, align her shield, and hand axe.
Need more shield.
Eat that.
Yeah.
Undead immunities.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Boo.
I'm looking up undead immunities. I cannot recall if they're immune to critical hits. Bleed, death effects,
they are.
disease, mind affecting effects, paralysis, poison, sleep, stunning.
Oh, it might be incorporeal or immune to crits, not undead.
Ability damage, ability drain, energy drain, exhaustion, fatigue, negative levels, non-lethal damage, anything that requires nothing about critical hits, so that goes through.
Woo, woo.
Yeah, it's constructs that are immune to critical hits. Great.
No,
awesome.
constructs
So
are
you
typically
hit
vulnerable.
for 9 damage.
Yeah.
Ouch. I do not like that.
And an increase to AC against this guy. +1 increase to AC.
Hate that. I hate that so much.
Oh, fuck.
Hand axes have block? That's awesome.
Forgot to turn my thing
No,
off.
no. I used my move action to align my my shield.
Shield.
Oh, cool. Ah, it's a shield off.
Yeah, we're playing that game.
That game.
All right. So, I believe is that all you're doing, Ava? You got anything else up your sleeve?
Yep, that's my move and my standard.
All right, Lahan, it is your turn.
Lahan shoots it twice.
Please do not shoot it.
Oh.
You do
What?
not. It, of all things, well, no, it's going to interpose that shield. The shield will ice over slightly, and it will shake it, and the ice
Yeah.
shards will just clatter to the ground.
Boo. Yeah, it was a 3 and a 4. That's
Jacinto.
kind of the way it goes.
Man, we're just not good at
Jacinto is gonna try again. We're gonna try and bop that one on the head. That same rock. That rock did pretty well last time. That rock is relegated to the garbage pile now, because that is a 3 on the die for a total of 4.
Boo.
That will not hit.
And as a move action, this time Jacinto will, in fact, he's gonna call out to the party. This is a 60-foot radius of any allies. I believe it's any allies who can hear me. I'll double check after. But and he'll activate his Song of the Spheres ability to give everybody a +1 to attack and damage rolls, as well as saves against fear effects. This is a
Stop
morale
making
bonus.
things more dangerous. I just have some simple country skeletons that want to end your lives.
Well, I like my life. I'm very attached to my life as Jacinto. So, contrary to that, though, I'm going to burn an RP instead of spending a spell
Okay.
slot. And that was a move. That was a standard, and that is my turn.
All right, Finn. Finn.
I'm gonna try to hit him again. I'm gonna enter my 3rd round of photon attunement. Before that,
Oh no. I don't like that.
I'm just gonna full round attack him this round.
Ooh, the funny.
Okay.
You're like, oh,
Hey! I got a crit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bludgeoning damage.
Second
too.
I
crit.
didn't get to do the thing I wanted to do.
Oh,
And it's even bludgeoning
And it's
damage.
bludgeoning
which is,
damage.
the best for
That's-
skellies.
that's a beautiful crit. 16 points of damage.
That's pretty
That's a
great.
lot for level 1. That would outright
is a
kill
lot.
some of us.
I'm not
Looking at
actually
Jacinto.
upset. It's just you
Yeah.
guys walk all over my bad guys.
I mean, we almost got
We're
killed
not
by the
walking
ticks.
over anything.
We've been having very dire fights. We almost die at least. Somebody's almost died every fight. You've been doing good.
Yeah, Jen.
Nice.
Nah, you guys are walking over them easy. You're fine.
So Finn, after
So true.
being deflected by the hammer, takes a second. He focuses on his photon attunement a little bit more. His gauntlet starts getting more and more pricks of light in it. He takes his fist in, goes around the hammer and gets him like square where his stomach would have been, severing his little spine.
Knocking the
I'm
vertebra right out.
kind of picturing you grabbing the spine and just yanking him in half.
I like
Almost.
that too.
Like you do all that, but instead of just ending with a punch, it's grab and. Yeah,
That's the second hit. The punch is the 16.
Yeah,
the
there you
grab
go.
and pull is the 7.
there you go. That'll be Finn, and it's on to the Stench Skeleton. Now, saddened and maddened by the fall of its compatriot, it's going to risk that op attack because it wants to come over to Finn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do I need a
Kill it, Ava.
Oh.
Kill it.
as it comes up on top of me with the stents?
Yeah, you will need to make fortitudes. On your turn is what it would be. That's how I rolled it with Ava.
I'm gonna make it now so I don't get it.
You super make
There
it.
you are. 22
You
to hit.
super hit it.
Nice.
It's still standing.
Heck yeah.
Ha! Barely. It's barely held together. And it's going to try and stab Finn. All right, here goes.
Come on, Nate.
24.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know that hits because you have like a 13.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Ow.
gonna hurt somebody. Take 7 points of slashing and sonic damage.
Nice. I'm all about that. Gonna give me some cool
Slashing
scars.
and Sonic.
All right.
Ow.
Oh.
So
Ow.
that's only just made it through my stamina.
That's fair.
I'm
That's
a
fair.
con build. I can take
That's
the
its
damage.
turn. It's now Ava's turn.
Kill it, Ava. Get it.
Yeah, Ava's gonna go ahead. Now, remind me if I can draw a weapon as a swift action. Can that be part of a full attack? I don't remember, guys.
No, full
yeah,
attack
because
is
you-
your swift action. That's a Pathfinderism.
Okay.
Oh, because we had him toss multiple tomahawks before.
I think I had him two and already drawn. I only have
Yeah,
one.
if
you-
We'll just go with the one
if
attack.
you weren't
Okay,
already
yeah,
drawn,
that's
you
a
were breaking the
24 to
rules.
hit. For
How
8
do you
damage.
end it?
I'm surprised you didn't
You
want to
had
just
one
move
hit point
up
left.
and flank.
Nah, no. We just go ahead and it moves out of the way. I swipe at it, and it keeps moving. So she kind of winds up again and throws the axe, and it hits right in the back of the head and just kind of takes the head off of it.
Nice.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
thunk right in the back of the head, and the head just rolls off of the spinal column, and the bones just de-articulate and fall into a heap.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Well
I really
done,
hope
Ava.
that wasn't Father Tovin.
Well,
Ava will go and pick up the
Owens.
axe with the skull still lodged in it and say, "Nope, doesn't look like him," and kind of use her foot to pry the skull from the
I'm
axe.
gonna dissipate my gauntlet.
Should we take a break on that note with Ava pulling?
Yeah. Pull the axe, and we should take our break now.
Yeah.
And I got some things to say. I got to get back over here. After the break, we're gonna come back. We're gonna find out what's going on in this tomb. Hopefully, we're gonna be back. 15 minutes or 10 minutes, guys.
Let's do 15.
10.
10 is fine.
10. So 1 minute after the hour, approximately.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
It's about shapeshifters. I'm not a
Live.
shapeshifter.
All right, we're back. Hopefully you stuck with us. We're coming back into a mausoleum dedicated to Father Tobin, wherein there were two skeletons, or rather unusual skeletons, that attacked the group.
Bad skeletons.
No, they were good skeletons. They just wanted to make you not alive so that you could be like them, and then you could sit around a card table or something together.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't.
Yeah,
we
sounds like
talked
they're
to
pretty
them
good at being
first.
skeletons to me.
We actually ambushed them and attacked. They could have been good.
Oh no! Carrying crown all over again.
Because, Eox is a thing, and there are sentient, non-evil undead.
I mean, I'm
Plus,
dead.
you have a boar eye.
Mhm. Yeah. That does put things in perspective. Well, they were probably evil.
right.
I hate perspective.
So is everyone okay? Finn says, looking around.
Yeah. How about you? Seems like you got clobbered.
I
Yeah,
just got
Ava
the
having
wind
taken
knocked
no
out of me.
damage says, yeah, I'm doing great.
Would you guys like to look around the tomb, investigate, figure
Yeah.
out stuff that's going on? One thing you will note is on this map I didn't have an option really to create a sarcophagus lid. That sarcophagus is open and the lid is broken and laying in bits and pieces beside it.
Oh no, I was probably hucking pieces of that at the skeleton.
No.
Well, I think you're throwing bits and pieces of the doors to the mausoleum itself because I described those as broken and not on their hinges.
yeah, that's a better idea.
Slightly
all right,
better.
so Jacinto
Ooh,
will. Yeah, and if those aren't the father and his daughter, then who? Where do these skeletons come from? Jacinto will look into the sarcophagus, making perhaps a perception check if you want it, or.
This is going to be some fairly obvious stuff.
Okay.
Searching the interior of the vault, there's going to be two things that are interesting. One is that the sarcophagus, as I've described, is open, and the remains are not in there. We never determined the species of Father Tobin, but I'm going to say he's not human, and these two skeletons were human, or very close to human.
Interesting. Can I?
The other thing you find... Oh, sorry.
No, go on. Finish your descriptions.
Okay. The other thing you find is a broken wrist piece, and I would like an engineering check to figure out what this is.
Ooh.
Not
Me.
me.
I'm not giving it because I don't have it.
Engineering. $27.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, you super got it. This appears to be...
Oh, and I get to
Like
reduce the DC by 5.
Oh, you super duper got it then. This appears to be a goblin bodged together. Why do I always draw a blank on the term? The null chamber? Is that what it is?
Null space chamber?
Null space chamber.
Null space chamber. It's like a goblin bodged together null space chamber. So they brought something in here, used the null space chamber to retrieve it, and then that broke. You can kind of piece together maybe like
Skeletons.
the skeletons, because Ava only noticed goblin and a humanoid set of footprints, not skeletal footprints, and there were two skeletons inside here.
Looks like they rigged up some kind of null space chamber to get the skeletons in here.
But why?
What's...
Probably to attack anyone who came to investigate.
Huh. That shows a lot of foresight.
That also means...
Can I examine the skeletons with like life science or something like that to determine what they might have been in life?
This is... I would say this is going to be pretty easy because they're human, but we've kind of established that humans aren't super common. So yeah, life science or medicine, if you want to identify the remains. Because you, the player, might know they're human. Jacinto might not.
Yeah. No, yeah, Jacinto wants to see if he can recognize anything about these corpses, or, skeletons anyway. It's got a 15 life science.
15... I'd say this is a middling DC, so yeah, you got it. You realize these were once human. Yeah. Jacinto and you, the player, realize that these were human skeletons. Lahan and Ava,
All right.
assuming they have a certain familiarity with Tobin, would be able to tell you that Tobin was not human. And if either one of you wants to decide what he was, shoot.
Blaka.
Android.
There you go. Father
Was a wolf
Tobin was a Vlaka.
But there's nothing
What
else of
would
interest
you
in the tomb?
I mean, the armor and the weapons that the skeletons were sporting, the lack of remains from Father Tobin, and that goblin bodged together in all space chamber. Those are the interesting things.
I was
Why
trying
would
to be
somebody
whisper
want to
fun.
take Father Tobin's remains?
Nicole Bolus 96 redeemed a toot toot.
Oh,
Oh, well, thanks.
Thank you
What was
so
the last
much.
question?
Well, I got distracted by looking to see what the chat window was doing. We established Tobin was Vlaka. The two skeletons were in fact human, and most likely came from that goblin bodged together in all space chamber. And I think I was leaving it up to you guys to do what you want with this information.
Okay.
Should we try to
Um,
dismantle that chamber?
What was that, Lapis?
Should we try to dismantle that chamber? Is that something that we should just leave here?
I think it's broken.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
not very technological, so.
Neither am I. Yeah, I suppose we could take that chamber with us, regardless. Lahan, do you think you could, I don't know, is it worth anything? Could you do anything with that?
I don't think it's really worth much. Doesn't look like the goblins did a very good job of putting it together, but it is evidence.
Right. And we're deputies now. So, like, we need evidence, right?
Well,
Why
anything-
anybody would want to take Father Tobin's remains?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. A little gross. Why would they need that?
They could be some kind of ritual components. Bones and remains and things are used in rituals pretty often.
It's true.
Maybe we should talk to some people. Well, I don't know if anybody who knows Father Tobin would know anything about that, but
Perhaps we could talk to the local priest.
We could talk to Father Xantus, yeah.
I could also make a mysticism check to, I don't know. It's very wide and that's a very general thing to wonder about, I guess, is like, you know, rituals that could involve this specific man's bones. So
bones of a whole
I don't know
man.
if a mysticism check or anything would do anything yet, but
I mean, you wouldn't be able to figure out what they're doing with the bones because they're just missing. But I believe someone already mentioned that the bones could be used in some dark ritual. But you don't know for sure that that's what's happening because there's nothing to indicate that that's what's happening.
okay.
Just an absence of the skeletal remains.
Well, one final sweep around the area, I suppose. Seeing nothing else, I guess. Jacinto is satisfied with our investigation of this place.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's anything else for us to see here. It's a good thing we stumbled on those skeletons, I guess, in a way, because we wouldn't want somebody else from the town to come peeking in here.
No, that definitely
True.
could have been fatal for the unprepared. Well, what should our next order of action be? Besides this, we just needed to make our presence known. And I wanted to catch a goblin, but I don't know where we landed on that.
I was kind of expecting us to find goblins here. Well, I guess we do we have any leads on this now? This seems kind of like a dead end. We could talk to Father Xantos, see if he would know of anything that could be done with Father Tobin's remains.
I like that.
Yeah, perhaps he saw someone here.
Yeah, we could ask him the last time he was here.
Well, Lehan, You should
Go find it.
Oh,
lead the way.
Thing.
oh,
Hun
all right.
will lead the group up the path to the cathedral, which is like right
Alright.
there.
We will go to the cathedral. I'm just gonna take us to the town map because tactical map for the cathedral. And we're gonna find Father Xantus. Good old Father Xantus, the weird human.
So strange.
Very.
And Ava, she's also human. Also strange.
Weirdo.
I used to be a human.
So you go up to the cathedral. It's open 24/7. Father Xantus and some of his acolytes, they have housing within the cathedral so that someone can always be there in case someone's in need, be it for healing or spiritual purposes, you know, also to keep an eye on things because they've heightened security at their religious institution since the last one just unexpectedly burned down, and they'd like to have someone kind of minding the shop rather than just one person being asleep. So if you go in there, you met at 8 a.m. and then you went pretty much straight there after maybe, I'm going to guess, an hour of discussion. So it's pretty early. Father Xantus is awake. Zero problems getting a hold of him. And he welcomes you in warmly. He's like, Lahan, lovely to see you again. Ava, don't see enough of you. You very rarely come to services. Should
Christmas and
visit
Easter
more.
sorts.
Yes.
Space
a
Easter and
creaster.
Space Christmas.
Father Xantus, somebody broke into Father Tobin's crypt.
What? That are you sure? I was just there the day before the festival. You know, doing like checking on everything. Oh man. Dapper Vosk does an excellent job taking care of the graveyard. He's very dedicated to his job.
Well,
Nefervosk.
the doors were broken off, and I'm afraid they made off with Father Tobin's bones.
What? Why would they want his bones?
We were hoping you could.
We
give
thought
us
you
some
might
clue.
know.
Like, I mean, bones can be used in rituals, but why would anyone want his bones? Like, he doesn't have any enemies. He was well loved. Like, it was a very, very sad day when he and Nualia died in the old temple.
Was there anything
So-
remarkable about the father besides the fact that he was a man of religion?
I mean, he was well loved. He was a father figure for most of the town. He adopted a young foundling, Nualia. She wasn't like even the same species, which I don't want to say that and be like, oh, surprise, but some people are a little bit provincial. Like, species should be no boundary for something like that. I don't think.
Generally,
I mean,
yeah,
look at
I
your
agree.
guys' friendship. None of you are alike. And yet you found common ground.
We're bound by something greater than race.
Well, come to me when you want to make it official.
Oh, no. Cincho's like hyacinth sort of like wilts just a little bit. It like droops off. Oh no, not that. Sorry. This nap.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, that's all right. This Nefervosk. What is his role? You said he keeps the graveyard?
Yeah, he does have a little bit of a checkered past. He was a smuggler. His ship crashed We found him in the wreckage, pretty badly beat up on the shore. Since then, his spine hasn't been aligned quite right. He's got a little bit of a hunch. But I took him in. We, nursed him back to health. And he sort of found a new life here in Sandpoint. He didn't embrace Desna, but he is a very dedicated follower of Sarenrae. He's trying to achieve redemption. He wants to be a positive influence on the world in a way that he wasn't before.
Sarenrae is lovely.
Actually, my goddess.
Okay. Where could we find him? He might be good to talk to. Maybe he saw something at the graveyard.
Good locations. I believe he has a shack. And if I can't find it quickly, I'll learn to just search by name.
Oh, you can do that?
An
That's neat.
option. Yeah, I just realized that.
Really?
I am
It's ridiculous.
not smart.
Ah,
That is untrue.
Okay, I'm just going to assume that there is a small house attached to the graveyard, a groundskeeper's residence. If that's not supposed to be so, that is so now.
hey man, it's your world.
Yeah, I mean, I want to use what they've given me. I'm going to change it a little bit, but I'm flying by the seat of my pants if I can't find it quick enough. And he now has a groundskeeper shack not far off the graveyard. And Lahan, I imagine you'd be probably familiar with this figure. I imagine. If you don't want to be, you don't have to be. But Naffer Vosk is he's a hunchbacked Vesk who takes immaculate care of the town's cemetery.
Okay. I'm sure Lahan has seen him around.
Yeah, I mean, he spends most of his time at the graveyard because, again, he is very dedicated to turning his life around, paying back the father who nursed him back to health to the best of his ability and gave him a new lease on life. And, when he's not doing that, he's probably chit-chatting with some of the other older folks in town or helping anyone else out in need that he has the ability to help.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty good dude from what you know.
Good. Well, let's go find his shack.
Yeah.
Not hard. Again, graveyard's very close to the cathedral and you were just there. And I described it as a fairly large graveyard, even though most of the gravestones are centralized around the mausoleum at this point. You can very easily find that shack or groundskeeper's house.
Mm-hmm.
I asked a question that yeah, no, he's at this point he's probably you can go to his house, you can knock on the door, ring the doorbell, whatever you would like to do. You tell me. Found his residence.
Jacinto will knock at the base of the door. With his Elfan will form, a knot, and he'll just.
You'll hear a very faint. Come in.
Elfan reaches up, opens the doorknob, and peers inside. Hello?
And it's a bit disheveled in here. And you see just lying in the living room area on the floor under a bookcase.
Oh.
A Vesk individual. And he looks like he's been there. There's a stench. You smell he couldn't go anywhere for his bio break.
Oh no.
I'm gonna
Oh no.
race forward and try to get that bookshelf off him. I'm gonna call over to
Yeah.
Ava too. Eva, help me get this off him. Do you want strength checks?
It's relatively easy for you. You have the leverage. His his back is messed up. It makes things a little bit harder, and he didn't like it was pushing down on his back. He was facing the floor. His physical impairment limited his ability to just sort of do a push-up and crawl out from the bookcase. He was trapped. He's not an elderly person, but he does have some physical problems due to the nature of his injuries. He's just, when you come over, when you run, he's like, help, thank you. When you get that off, he's just like, thank you so much. I've been here I didn't even get to go to the festival. It's been since the festival. And at this point, that's almost 5 days. Like, there's...
Oh, goodness.
Like, he's not looking good. Like, his voice is barely there.
let's
Well,
get you to a
Jacinto
chair.
will do...
Escort him over to a chair or a couch or something.
Jacinto will...
no problems there.
I think I will cast... first, I'll cast Mystic Cure on him. If does it look like he would benefit from healing? Or is
more, it's like exposure. Like, he hasn't had a lot of... Like, he's very dehydrated. You know, he's very weak from lack of nourishment. It's that sort of thing. I don't really think Mystic Cure would take care of that.
Okay. Then I won't do that. Instead, I will token spell him up using the cleaning function of token spell to just sort of tidy him up a little bit, maybe dust him off and other stuff.
Jacinto, do you mind if I give him the bread that you had me put in my backpack the other day?
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm going to pull
No,
out the
please do.
other half of a loaf of bread that I'd stashed for Jacinto a few days ago and forgotten about and give it to the vest. You should eat something.
Mm-hmm.
The bread makes a comeback.
Yeah. I had forgotten about that.
I did too. I was like, wait a second. I've
Being
got food in my
internally
backpack.
consistent.
Wahan will
Alright.
look around for something she can use to bolt that bookcase to the wall. And proceed to
Yeah,
bolt the bookcase to the wall. So it cannot fall down again.
I assume you have engineer's tools of some sort. You can find a stud in the wall and you can bolt it to the wall. It will not fall again. And if you guys are looking around the room,
And then she starts putting books back on it.
especially that's totally fine. If would Ava have been looking around to try and figure out what went on with this room? Because it's more than just the bookcase falling over. There's other things that are trashed.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay. Very easily you find the like 6 sets of goblin footprints.
What happened here? Was it an accident or talking to our rescue man?
No, some goblins burst in just as I was making ready to head over to the festival, and they accosted me, and I tried to fend them off, and one of them pushed over the bookcase on top of me, and they found it hilarious that I was trapped there. They didn't even want to kill me. They just wanted me to suffer.
It's terrible.
Did
This
they
is
say
also
anything
just-
else?
I don't speak goblin. They were jabbering at each other.
Fair enough.
This is disturbing because this also means that they were in town well before the festival, the attack on the festival.
It does.
Was there anyone with the goblins?
I didn't see anybody. It was just they swarmed through my. Like when I opened the door to leave, they bulled in and shoved me back, and they were just climbing all over me. And one of them shoved the bookcase on me, and not what I once was. Like, Saren Ray has given me certain abilities, and none of them None of them could help me get out from underneath that. I just did not have the leverage or the strength.
That must have been very scary. I'm sorry.
Thank you for your empathy. I very much appreciate it. I thought I was going to die there. And he'll start to lizard tear up. Do lizards have tear ducts?
Yeah,
Sure they do.
I know that the one species spits blood out of their eyeballs, but he's not.
That's a Keshti.
Well, maybe he is. Yeah, Keshti. Maybe.
Vesk cry.
Maybe he's good. Yeah, Vesk. Okay, Vesk cry. I was gonna say maybe the Vesk
If you
cry
watched
blood.
Dawn
as
of
well.
Flame,
They just can't shoot it.
you know Vesk cry.
Uh, that is true.
We actually recently came from the graveyard. We found the father's bones missing. We were hoping that you might be able to help us with that.
Those frogging goblins did something to Tobin's remains?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, they're missing.
Retrieve them, please, if you can. I'll scrape up the funds to pay you if I have to.
Oh, no need to pay us for
He was a
this.
good man.
You don't need to pay us.
We're already on retainer as
Sheriff Hemlock
deputies.
made us deputies in his absence. We're
Yeah.
only too happy to help.
Taps the star. The star pops off of Jacinto's chest.
Suddenly you can't see us, no.
He'll kind of smile when he sees Jacinto's badge, just...
He's very important. You can tell by the size of his star.
I mean, if we're talking ratios here, yeah, Jacinto's the most important because of how big his badge is.
Well,
He has the biggest badge.
Sheriff, I mean, it's the same size as yours, just relatively, it's not. The sheriff made an excellent choice when he chose you folks then. There's... yes, I need to go see... Do you help me over to Father Xantus? I should not stay here by myself.
Absolutely.
Of course.
I think
Thank
it's
you
funny that
so
we
much.
synchronized.
And he'll probably lean on whoever wants to help him. Probably Finn, I imagine. Maybe Ava. And he'll just potter on over to the cathedral for help.
Nope, Finn is 100% good with being leaned on. While we're walking, I want to make small talk and pick his brain, see if he's got any idea why somebody would steal the bones of a father.
I have no idea. Like, he was universally loved.
When you say near, is there anyone in particular that comes to mind that didn't love him? Or is it just a general?
I think I'm sure she loved him, but she was a teenager. There's always teenage growing pains. Nualia was butting heads with him prior to their deaths. You know, teenage stuff. Lahan knows. Ask Lahan if you don't remember your teenage years. She's not too far out of them.
Nah,
Similar remark.
I definitely do remember being a teenager. I was not always as nice to my mother as I should have been.
I remember when Eugene spliced your hair into a vibrant rainbow and shaved it into a bihawk just to make your dad angry, Lahan.
That was cool. Which is hard to keep up.
You know, but your dad wasn't happy with that. You guys had a little bit of a row about it, I imagine. You know, that sort of thing is what I was pretty sure was going on with Nualia and Tobin. He was very strict. Like, she'd act out, he'd restrict her privileges. She'd act out, he'd restrict them even further. Like, he didn't... Like, he needed to trust that he had raised her properly, and he had his expectations for her were a little bit too high. He wanted her to follow in his footsteps, to be the next religious figure in the town, and I don't think that was what she thought her destiny was.
I could see that causing problems.
So maybe she wasn't happy living here.
When you say that she would act out,
Sounds
do you have any idea what kind of things she was doing when she would act out? She never fell in with any questionable crowds or anything, did she?
I mean, she didn't have too many friends, mostly because people treated her differently because of her nature. She didn't. A lot of other children didn't necessarily want to be her friend because she was a cool person, but because of what she was. Like, she had a bit of the celestial in her, and people were more concerned with that divine connection than what she thought about things.
Well, that, and she was a little bit of a bully.
Well, you have the entire town treat you like you're a divine vessel and not the person you are, and you see how you react, young woman. I saw that. I did see her running around with a spacer boy on a couple occasions. She's young. I'm not gonna tattle on her for sneaking out and spending time with a boy. Like, you shouldn't have to sneak. Tobin was a good man, but I don't necessarily agree with all of his decisions as a father.
Did you recognize the spacer?
I mean, familiar face, but I don't know him. He wasn't he didn't live in Sandpoint. He was probably a couple years older than her. Maybe 18. She was 16. I think he worked on one of the tugs that traveled between here and Magnimar Station, shipping goods.
In Tom's brain, Magnimar Station keeps coming up. Interesting.
Well,
all right.
thank you for all of the information. We're going to do our best to get to the bottom of this and to bring the father's bones back.
So much. I'd like for him to be put at rest again. I hate the thought of what happened to him. No one deserves to have their eternal rest disturbed.
No one does, really. It's that's supposed to be sacred.
And when he says that, he probably looks a little bit awkward when he looks at Finn.
Finn was actually just thinking about that in his head.
Some
You never
of us
got
don't
this
choose to
far.
be.
They couldn't be disturbed. You never got that far.
Oh no, I was dead for a little
Chose
bit.
not to rest.
I was dead for a little bit. I just got brought back.
Got better, sort of.
Mostly.
More
You're mostly
charismatic.
My eternal rest wasn't very restful.
Unfinished business.
Yeah. We'll see to it. He'll be returned.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, after the good father here takes a look at me, and I'm back to it's like 90%, which is my normal 100 now. I'll see about fixing that mausoleum.
Get in touch with us if you hear or see anything out of the normal. I'm gonna give him my comm number.
100%. I will contact you if I see anything suspicious. And he pulls out his comm to receive it, and his isn't like a wrist-mounted one or a sleek one. It's
Like an old Nokia.
like the equivalent. Yeah, it's like an old Nokia, but like future sci-fi old Nokia.
Are you implying that Nokias already on future sci-fi? They're unbreakable.
I'm surprised they don't like someone doesn't get like a Kevlar vest with pockets and just line it with Nokias.
See, that's
Like
what
instead
I
of
want
ceramic strike plates.
Stop a tank with that.
The Killdozer should have just covered them in Nokia phones instead of concrete.
So,
Yep.
that was our last lead, and it didn't give us any more information. It's starting to look more and more like my go capture a goblin plan might be the way to go. We might have to track them down to their home to figure anything out.
But
Well-
Shaylu's already looking into it.
That is fair. We can wait till Shaylu gets back, but I just have a feeling we're gonna have to go hunt these goblins down.
It's quite possible.
The stomach grumbles. I think it's about time for lunch. What do you guys think?
I could eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that zombie skeleton killing has me starving.
What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Maybe Berthana has something good for us.
Oh, I'm sure
Yeah,
she
maybe we
does.
could check in, see if Amiko's poked her head out of her room.
Yeah.
It's a great plan. To the dragon.
And we
Alright.
head back to the Rusty Dragon.
The Rusty Dragon, your eating point
Crowded for lunch.
and hangout. Pretty crowded, actually. When you walk in, it's pretty lively. A lot of the locals, a lot of the spacers from the spaceport, who ship goods back and forth. They're in there. They're eating, talking, drinking, like noontime beverages or whatever. And Berthana's doing her job, but Finn, make a sense motive.
Okay. It's not my best skill, but I will do it.
Anyone make a sense motive. I just feel like Finn might be slightly more in tune, so I'm going to give you a bonus.
Give me that first one. I accidentally hit it 3 times.
Yeah, you rolled a strength check. That is
Oh,
sense motive.
give me the second one. I don't know how I got a strength.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that was
Finn for sure. Jacinto also for sure, because Jacinto's a very insightful person. Jacinto, you feel like the music that is coming off of her is sort of tense and urgent, like worried almost. Finn, you look at the way she's carrying herself and the set of her face, and you can see that she's trying to hide it, but she looks upset and worried about something. Like you're both picking up the same thing, but different ways.
I want to go approach her and ask her what's wrong. When she's got a second. She's busy.
When you ask her that, she kind of almost breaks down a little bit. It's like she doesn't collapse or anything,
Oh, I'm going to hug her.
but like, yeah, okay, yeah. She allows you to hug her. She allows you to like lead her maybe back to the kitchen.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And
Jacinto watches with concern and then sees that Finn has it, probably recognizes that her and Finn are, close, and so just like trusts Finn to have that.
An will sort of take her order pad as they go back into the kitchen and start waiting tables for her.
Aw.
Nice.
And once
Jacinto sits down with Ava.
we're back in the kitchen, I'm going to ask her, what's wrong? Is it something with Amiko?
After our talk, I went to check. I knocked on her room. She wasn't answering. Like even when she wants alone time, she doesn't not
What is
answer
that
me.
quiet noise?
It's one of the local trucks, I guess.
Oh,
Sorry, it's the second time.
no, it's totally fine.
You can't just ask.
I knocked on her door. Even when she wants some time alone, she'll at least answer, let me know if she needs anything, whatever. Nothing. So I used the key she gave me. And I walked inside, and I found that her bed hadn't been slept in. And there was a cracked screened a data pad with a cracked screen just laying on the floor. And did I not copy this handout? My apologies, guys. I need to do a copy paste.
It's all right.
Quite all right.
Lahan brings Jacinto slightly more food than he asked for.
Thanks, Lahan.
By slightly,
extra-
probably don't, considering it's so small.
Extra pickles. Delightful.
Yeah, no
Be-
problem.
A plate for a tiny guy is probably pretty small.
I'm sure Lahan helped wait tables 100 times.
All right, I'm just going to read it out loud to you. That'll be faster.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So, if you look at the message, it says, "Hello, sis. I hope that this letter finds you well, with some free time on your hands, because we've got something of a problem. It's to do with Father. It seems that he might have had something to do with Sandpoint's recent troubles with the goblins, and I didn't want to bring the matter to the authorities because we both know he just weasel out of it. Got some pull here in town, though. You can meet me at the superconductor manufactory at midnight. Maybe we can figure out how to make sure he faces the punishment he deserves. Knock twice, then 3 times more, then once more at the delivery entrance, and I'll let you in. In any case, I don't have to impress upon you the delicate nature of this request. If news got out, these local rubes would assume that you and I were on the whole thing, don't you? They've got no honor at all around these parts. I still don't understand how you can stand to stay here. Anyway, don't tell anyone about this. There are other complications as well. Ones I'd rather talk to you in person about. Don't be late. Suto."
Hmm.
So it sounds like she never came back from that meeting. Don't worry, we'll figure out what's going on. Give her a real strong hug.
I beefed it a little bit again. I'm sorry. That handout would have been in Triaxian. I mean, you would have gotten that information, but you would have probably had to filter it through Lahan.
Okay. Well,
Because we
she
did
gives me the
establish that
information-
Lahan does speak Triaxian.
well, if she gives me the information, I'll tell her that we'll get it figured out, and I'll give her a big hug, and then I'll go back to the table with the info.
Okay. Yeah, she'll let you keep the data pad. She doesn't have any use for it, and you got a shiny new star on your chest, so you're an authority figure.
And plus, she already likes me.
Lahan offers to keep waiting tables for a little while she takes a breather. The next time she's in the kitchen, as probably as Finn is going out.
And if you guys have any questions about Pseudo, either I can distribute some information through Lahan, or you could ask Berthana, and she has some information.
Is Suto the brother that she hadn't seen in a while?
Yes.
That is correct. Sorry.
Suspicious.
Know a thing or two.
Hmm.
Part of why I decided to play local.
So
Just enough
She
to be
would've-
dangerous.
she would have been very excited to see him, I think. Is there any bad history with them? Because if she didn't come back, that implies that there was something unexpected at that meeting, either with Suto or perhaps her father found out about the meeting.
I know
Or
she was
perhaps-
always pretty fond of her brother.
You do know
Perhaps-
that there was a great deal of bad blood between her father and Pseudo, though.
Yeah.
Because quite obviously he was not his father's child.
Okay. So, probably unlikely that the two of them were working together. So it's more likely that the father found out about this meeting. If he has agents in Sandpoint that contributed to the attack on Sandpoint, then it's possible, right, that he had other people that found out about this meeting.
Could
It
very
is
well be.
possible.
I
The
think
meeting was set to be at the Glassworks, right, Chet?
Yes. At the superconductor manufactory.
Superconductor manufacturer. That's right. We changed it. Superconductor
Why would
manufacturer.
glassworks be a big thing? That
I
doesn't
heard her
make any
say it.
sense.
well,
Um,
we could go check out the superconductor manufacturer, or we could also try to track down their father. I think it'd be best to get some more information before he can confront the father. If he does have something to do with the goblins.
he's a powerful figure in town.
We don't want to spook him.
Yeah, and he's got enough pull with the mayor and Sheriff Hemlock that he could easily put us out if we don't have evidence against him.
I'm also just genuinely curious as to why he wanted to attack Sandpoint. So, that'd be good to find out.
It's probably money. It's always money.
Huh.
Well,
I mean,
Ava, you up
Person?
for hunting Amico down, Ava?
Ava's just kind of been sitting back and like letting you all speak as she does, and just kind of, after a moment, nods and says, "I'm always up for a hunt."
getting a very Quinn from Jaws vibe from Ava.
That's what that is. I mean, that was intentional. I did that on purpose.
Totally meant that to come across that way.
Not complaining. I like it. I like what all of your characters bring to the table.
Me too. All right. So to the superconductor factory after we finish our lunch.
Yeah.
Lahan, did you eat?
Oh yeah, she came back. We sort of skipped over it, but after Berthana had kind of collected herself and taken the orders back, Lahan grabbed something for herself from the kitchen and like slipped back in with you guys. Translated that data pad.
Before
Awesome.
I leave, I want to ask Bathana to keep a eye out for Foxglove while we're gone, and let me know if she sees him doing anything throughout the day.
In your official capacity as a deputy.
Oh, yeah. Also as a mild love interest as well.
Using that section.
Yeah. We'll do. I'll keep an eye on Aldrin for you.
Excellent.
Kind of get the impression she keeps an eye on him regardless, mostly so she can avoid him
That's fair.
You and me both,
as
sister.
much as possible.
He doesn't sit right with me, and I want to know what he's up to.
He's sketchy, that guy.
Inklings about that one.
So where would you like to go now? Just straight to the manufactory?
Yeah.
I'm assuming we can fast forward through lunch.
Where on the map is that manufactory at?
It's a big building sort of on the east. I think it's 20.
Oh, I see.
There is an actual map for this.
What?
Well, that never
Transitioning.
bodes well.
Oh
It
no.
should be updating shortly.
Well, everyone knows that
Finding
actual maps are a
spooky.
great thing. Just so you know how far you can walk and how long it's going to take you to explore it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Totally not for any other reason.
Pretty big building.
It is a big building. It is a manufactory.
So you show up, and this manufactory, again, much like the town hall, was built function over form. Sorry. This one was also poured concrete, minimal windows, that sort of thing. It's not built to be pretty. It's just built to do its job and not be damaged in case there was a raid or anything along those lines.
Dig it. Which
Cool.
direction are we coming from?
Which direction do you want to come from? This town is not like a hard grid. You can approach from pretty much whatever angle you want. Buildings sitting a little ways away from other buildings.
Well,
Let's
it's
come
presumably during business hours, so let's head for the front door.
Yeah, let's go see if
No pedestrian access.
is the front door like something that looks like a business that you just walk into or a business that you knock on?
Well, A1 is the display room. It's a shop where random people can come in and browse products to, place orders.
Well, let's
I
head.
believe that-
Then that's the place that Lahan will sort of head to.
Okay.
Lead them up towards.
Follow, because I'm not expecting us to get ganked or anything.
Yeah.
Same.
And you get to the front door, and it's closed and locked.
I don't know how to drag my icon onto the map. Could somebody put me on the map, please?
You just grab your character name and then drag it over to the map.
It's not letting me do that. Can somebody do that for me?
I get you.
It's fighting me. Duck.
I may have the grid turned off on this as well because the map was not lining up for the life of me, and I apologize that the grid doesn't exist. But I got it as close as I could.
We still have grids too. Who keeps moving me?
Not me. I'm not doing it.
Get your filthy hands off of me, Leaf.
Alright, so it's locked?
And I presume the lights are out inside too.
Yeah, the lights are out, it's locked, and it's quiet. That's not normal for this time of day. That's the storefront. If you want, I feel like Lahan would probably know. Over here is like their management office entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is this is the loading dock over here. Another potential entrance.
Where was it on the datapad that Suto told Emiko to meet him?
The delivery door.
Would be the loading dock.
The loading dock. All right.
That's odd. The shop should be open this time of day.
Who,
Well, let's go check. There's a door to the manager's office around this side. Maybe there's someone there.
Maybe. Lahani, who owns this shop?
Oh, Amiko's father owns this place.
Oh, okay. We should be cautious.
I agree.
I don't feel quite right. I'm going to sound my gauntlet.
I mean, he's a
as I walk
flame head, but I don't think he'd hurt us.
You will note that the buildings, while the building is suspiciously quiet, I'm just going to say, the factory's furnaces, chimneys are still putting out smoke and vapor.
So the machinery is still running, but the rest of it is quiet. Curious.
Yeah. And the windows, again, high-tech windows, while they're small, windows still exist. They've been turned opaque. I'm assuming it's like a little setting. Instead of having to buy blinds, you can just turn the opacity up on your window.
That's
Because
pretty
it's
cool.
the future. As all
Future
windows.
I would love those windows for my bedroom.
You know, you can
My
actually buy
goodness.
windows that do that right now.
You can. They exist. We live in the future.
Too rich for my blood, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're still too expensive.
No,
It'll
the future
come
is
someday.
now, but only if you're rich.
Yeah.
And
So
if you look at
Management
Sorry, I was
office
gonna-
door.
If you look at the map, while the ground floor has small windows, where you see the lighter circles in the building, those are skylights up on on the roof.
Okay.
You might be able to see, they're like the domed little skylights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably a slightly different architectural design. They were added after the fact when things were a little bit safer.
So
Yeah.
we could break in on the roof if we needed to be.
How about this door to the management?
It's
Office.
also locked. It's also dark. The windows are also opaque. It's also dark. You're looking at a window right there. This is actually the door.
I'm going to give it a
Oh,
strong
well.
pound. Sandpoint deputies! Then listen.
It's a metal door and it clang, 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 clang. Dead silence. No response.
Lahan, I don't suppose you're good with electronics and stuff. I don't suppose you could get us through this door.
I mean, I suppose I could. And we are deputies, and we do have evidence that means we need to search the place, I guess.
We did just announce ourselves.
I think we, yeah.
I think it's within our rights.
Tim?
Some of you are standing close to the window. No, never mind. That was me looking at the wrong part of the map. What are you going to do?
Lahan's going to attempt to pop the lock with a 27 engineering check.
That's a good engineer.
You pop that lock.
Nice.
Pushes the door open for Finn.
Impressive.
After you.
That is a
So
useful
you have
skill.
access. Nope, that was a window.
That-
Oh, I
This
see.
way.
We're
The hard
Finn
white,
thanks you for opening the door
thanks
and
you-
crashes
yeah.
through a window.
hard white rectangles are doors.
Jumps through the door. What do I see inside? Well, perception for you too, as long as I'm in here.
This is a 12. This is a reception area. It's just it's a small reception area for representatives to arrange business dealings effectively while they wait to speak to someone in upper management.
Okay.
And there's probably like a little terminal at the desk, a little like tiny push button inter office communication device. So that she or he or they don't have to walk the 5 feet and interrupt their boss. They can just push a button.
Okay. I'm gonna signal to everybody. It looks clear. Come on in.
Thank you.
No one here.
No reason in
Great.
particular. Not that I'm worried. Finn got a 10-minute rest. So would Finn like to have spent a resolve point and gained his stamina back?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me about that
Yeah.
mechanic. I forget.
Thank you
That's
for
all right.
Yeah, we
reminding me.
did stop and have lunch, which I think counts as a rest.
I absolutely
That's pretty
do wanna
restful.
spend my
Yes.
stamina on that. My,
100%, yes.
just in case. You don't want a damaged frontliner. That doesn't help y'all.
No. Lahan, seeing that like nobody is here, is gonna go ahead and take out her rifle just in case. Because this is highly suspicious.
Yeah.
There's no one here
I
in the
got my
middle of the
gauntlet
workday.
And now that you're inside, you're starting to hear the sound of the furnaces, which you already knew were running because you saw the smokestacks.
Lahani.
But now you're starting to hear them. And I would like a perception check.
Do you want to use my old one or you want me to roll a new one?
Got it, boss.
Sorry. Yeah, let's do a new one because you were doing one thing and this is a different thing.
Okay.
Ah, you
Ooh,
beat me.
I got a 21.
Woo! Look at you percepting all over the place.
Hey.
There. Okay. So it looks like everybody but Ava. Nope. Finn didn't catch it either. So Lahan and Jacinto. You hear what sounds like high-pitched giggling, shrieks, and the breaking of some sort of glass. But it's dim, it's muted, it's as though it's coming through multiple doors.
Goblins.
Where?
I don't know, somewhere.
How do you know?
I hear
Like
giggling. and
roughly
glass
this
smashing.
direction, but beyond that,
That way.
I did a click.
I'm gonna go through the door the way that she pointed. Is my fearless troop gonna follow?
Yep.
Ava, gonna be up in the front, or you gonna hold the back? Keep our squishes safe. Can you still tell which direction they're in?
Want a new perception check to keep listening for goblins?
Sure, indeed.
We're moving as quietly as we can. 23!
Definitely louder that direction.
Wait. This way.
Wait, are we trying
And
to move quiet?
for the people listening, that direction is to the group's right, down a small corridor, because I've noticed that I tend to narrate the scenery less when we get to a tactical map, and I need to correct that.
Yeah,
Nice. I actually got a 19
they're
on my
down this
perception.
way.
So are people trying to walk quiet? Should I roll a stealth while I got this open?
If you're trying to be stealthy, you should roll a stealth.
Yeah, let's be as quiet as we can.
Okay. With that suggestion,
I feel like if we're
I'll try.
listening for whispers, we're probably, or
Oh,
if we're
man.
listening intently, we're probably being quiet.
Y'all, I'm so sneaky.
Me too.
You're so sneaky. I only got an 11.
I got a 10. Ah. Oh, the second one is even worse. I didn't try to roll that, though. It likes to double roll me. Alright, so which direction do I hear them in? I got a 19. Towards 16 or
We're heading
7?
towards A16 there.
Okay. Keep moving. Try and be quiet. Kind of succeeding, kind of not. I see anything in this room?
Ava, move your big butt.
That room is A16. I will tell you. This is a loading room. There are hover dollies sitting against the wall and industrial shelving full of materials necessary for the manufacturing of the superconductors that this plant is known for.
Okay, but no gobos?
Not in this room.
We
Alright.
listen some more.
And
22! Lahan is obviously really on edge. Ooh, nice one, Jacinto.
26. I think we got this percepting thing down.
I think so. Lahan points to the doors to the north.
Jacinto nods
I
grimly.
presume is where the giggling is coming from.
don't walk in there just yet. I need to make a couple rolls myself. I was just pulling up some character sheets.
You want us to stealth again now that
See
we're
if
in
they
another
hear
room?
us coming. Over there giggling
Yeah,
and
I
glass
mean-
breaking.
Do you want
Yeah, it's not
do
going to be
set of
easy
stealths
for him.
Since we're in a new room?
No, that we'll just let it ride.
Alright.
It's fine. I know you probably want a new one, but
Oh,
we'll
no.
let it ride.
I don't care.
New
And-
one.
I like being loud and clanky too. That's almost half as fun as being successfully stealthy.
Hear this because I'm sure you're shocked to hear that there's probably going to be an initiative roll coming up.
What? Are there goblins behind that door?
No, no, it's a secret.
I love secrets. Especially ones without teeth.
Betting they're goblins.
Secret.
What do you guys
He's got
think?
a secret.
Audience, are there
Um,
goblins behind that door? I'm betting there's goblins behind that door.
I don't know.
It could be a wake
I think it's more
bears.
skeletons.
They're
No.
Oh,
goblins.
fuck yeah. Fuck
Giggling
yeah.
and glass breaking.
I actually got another good
Yeah.
roll.
Could also be my little brother. So I mean, whatever, man.
And you were taken in by a goblin tribe. Till you murdered
Oh, I
said
meant-
goblin tribe.
I meant my IRL brother, but yeah.
He left his
Oh,
brother
okay.
behind.
Come on, load the character sheet, Hero Lab. Why you struggling tonight? You jerk.
Because it doesn't like you. Apparently. It says, no,
Well, I
do
like
not
it.
throw goblins at these PCs. They did nothing to deserve this.
Or everything to deserve it. I mean, we could play Colony Simulator and no conflict whatsoever. You just build the town, I guess.
Hmm.
With a good time.
I feel like Ava would get bored with that.
Been building her own colony. You have no idea.
I don't. Tell me more. Write me a short story and send it to me.
So out in
Hey,
the woods.
Jet, that's a lot of initiative rolls.
A lot of
it?
initiative rolls. I don't like this. We should go the other way, guys.
Fine.
Oh, he's still rolling.
Oh gosh.
We'll be okay,
That's-
guys. We got this.
That's a lot of gobos, guys. Who brought
This
grenades?
is,
I see in my future many songs of the spheres.
Grenades.
This
We need more
is,
grenades.
This is kind of
Those
harking
guys.
back to the
Guys
story you guys were
sexy.
telling about book 5 of Dead Sons earlier today, I think.
Oh,
Hmm.
oh yeah. Where they just drew the whole base down on their heads. For those of you who've heard about Leaf's hatred of Wall of Fire, Lab has cast that Wall of Fire in Book
It
5
was
of
a
Dead
super
Suns.
useful thing.
Walls of Fire are opaque. You cannot shoot through them.
So good. I love
Come
cars.
on, Hero Lab. There's one sheet that I need, and you're refusing to give it to me. You're halfway there.
Actually,
You can have
made
it, whatever
another
it is.
Yosoki this game because I love
I need,
Yosokis because of cars.
I need it because it's the complicated sheet, though.
Yeah, you definitely don't need that one.
Super
Nah.
neat.
They fell asleep.
Okay, it's most of the way loaded. I can see what I need to see for the moment. There we go. It gave it to me. Ha ha ha!
Woo!
You're boned, all of you.
I like being boned. As
Well.
long as it's consensual. It's alright. I'll just swoop in over these guys. We got them. Just watch out for when I get really bright.
All right, so we've rolled this initiative. We've built up to this moment, and I lost track of time. This would be a good time to pause
It would
because
be.
this is going to probably be fairly epic. We can
I
start
think
next
you
week.
have to tell us what's in the room, though.
No.
Leave it on a
Do
cliffhanger.
I like the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Do I?
I like the cliffhanger.
I think you're
Yeah,
going to
man.
be surprised, maybe, or horrified.
If you think we're gonna be surprised, I'd rather wait until next Thursday then.
I think we should
So
wait.
it
Okay.
builds the
It'll make
surprise.
I think
It'll
you.
make
I
me
think
wait
I'm
on
leaning more towards you're going to be horrified. And thank you for that reminder so much, Nick. I appreciate it. I got in the moment.
I wasn't going to tell him. I was going
I
to let us
know.
get in the middle of combat. Then we would have had to play late.
I feel like
Oh,
other people
you're
would have gotten
terrible,
upset with me, though.
Rabbit.
Yeah,
Tom
but
has
it's
to
really
sleep.
it's really late for me.
Yeah, people would have got super upset with me. I'm sorry. Sorry, I lost track of time.
This
I need to
is-
No,
set an
that's okay.
alarm as a reminder.
that is a small crime.
Tell me
It is.
what you get for living where you live.
Unless
3
plans have
hours is a weird
changed.
slot. So,
Fine. It's a good time frame. I was just in the moment. You got a little bit further than I was expected, so I was flying by the seat of my pants a tiny bit. Unless things have changed, I believe this Sunday is going to be episode 4 of Threefold's Conspiracy as the investigators track down the truth behind the disappearance on board the Chimera and discover an even deeper plot.
yes, we will be back. Episode 3, though. There now.
Ready?
Trace.
Yeah.
Yep.
This
Because
one's now an episode ahead.
we did Space Dwarves last Sunday.
I thought last Sunday
Yep.
was supposed to be 4.
Nick was, no, it's supposed to be 3. Nick was recovering from a very, very long drive
Mhm.
and a rough week.
Sorry. I copied and pasted the blurb you gave me, and it said 4.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. But there will be an episode on Sunday.
Tell you
I'll sort out
what,
the
it's
It'll
going to
be
be
an
the
episode.
next one.
There we
It's
go.
going to be the next one, whatever that is.
Following that'll be episode 5 of Star Lords. Gonna be jumping into a combat right away. Do any of you have questions, comments, shout outs?
I just want
No.
to say a big thank you to any of my ethereal guildies that came and popped through. I saw some names I recognized in chat. Y'all are excellent.
Yes. Thank you, Ethereal Guildies, for coming out.
Thank you, anybody that decided to pop in and watch. I hope you enjoyed yourselves because I'm having fun and I hope my players are.
Nope.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
Excellent,
We're
Jeff.
definitely having fun. We're also hoarding all of our stream points. So, beware.
I've got 8,500
Oh, yeah.
stream points
If
right
you
now.
don't,
I have
I spent a
6,000.
lot of mine on you guys last time and I'm just up to 1,000.
Yeah. Oh, hey,
just
I
wanna
have a
have-
question for you, Jet.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep asking. Are we level 2 yet?
Yeah.
Are we level 2 yet?
We're
Yeah.
level 2!
Wait, are we?
Yeah.
Wait, can we?
So exciting.
Wait, for real? Level up?
I should make this fight a little bit easier for you.
Well, maybe.
Oh,
Thank
my
you, Tom,
goodness.
again for handling Sirenscape. Super appreciate it.
Oh, sure.
You were good last week, and you were 10 times better this week.
Oh, gosh.
Getting a little bit better every time. You're going to be a Sirenscape master in no time.
If anybody watching or listening wants to submit a weekly icebreaker, email us at nonstandardaction@gmail.com, or if you just want to email us for whatever.
Yeah, if you want to
can
ask us
listen on Discord.
questions.
We also have a Discord server. You can ask us questions in real time.
Yeah, that is
Yes.
below the stream. There are links to our Discord channel. Also, our Facebook page and our Twitter feed. We're really bad at Twitter, but if you want to like us on Facebook, all these videos go up there too, and I think they actually live there forever. So
We're fairly active on Discord too, so you should be able to get a hold of somebody.
Yeah, we love
yeah,
Discord.
we're super active on Discord. That's where we live. Come hang out with us.
That's how I became friends with all these people, and they're awesome. So
Hey, it's how I became friends with all of these people too. So like, it's Discord's a cool thing. Don't let the name fool you. It is not. It is not as divisive as the name implies.
No, in fact, it brings people together. It's more about harmony than discord.
All right. Are we ready to
say
take a
goodbye,
wrap?
everybody.
Goodbye,
Bye, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hope to see y'all
Take
back
care of
next week.
yourselves.